Captain's log, start date 2026.03. Welcome
Very
back
nice.
to Late Night Chat.
Going on, we got JT, aka the captain, here today, talking about his pick on Late Night at the Movies. This is episode 79 on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk, everyone. I'd hand it over to JT to open us up with that captain's log there, of course, but make sure to like and subscribe. And I'm your host, Nico. And as I mentioned, we got JT, the captain, here today in the captain's seat. This is his pick. We've got Max here with us and Julie Mack in the house today, live and in person for first time in a long time. What's going on?
I know, it's been over in a while.
It has been a while for sure. No, it has been. I think probably prior to the New Year, I think was the last time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But yeah, we're doing the 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek here today. And
of course, Nico has the Blu-ray.
Of course, I have all three of them, the trilogy.
Nice.
And with that, take it away, Jay.
Nice one. Nice one. All right, everybody. How's it going? So, just want to give you guys a little introduction into how I know this movie and why I chose this pick, to be honest with you. I chose this pick because it brings back a lot of childhood memories. This is probably one of the more complicated ones to digest when it comes to...
We're a child.
Motherfucker, you were at least 30, right? No, I'm just fucking-
No, it's true. It's one of the biggest ones to digest when it comes
You're
to...
at least 30, like Bad Boys too. Like you were a child when Chicken Little came out, right?
Dude, I was... What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what you
a
said.
child when this came out.
I wasn't a child when this came out. I
Trek.
started...
Yeah, no, we're just
Original
giving. You're
Star
just
Trek.
fucking.
Yeah, you guys want to fuck with me already. Seriously? You want to play that kind of game for this one? You're going to have some editing to do today, boys. So, oh, and ladies.
I didn't even watch it.
Did you have that beard when you were a child too?
Yeah, I was born with
Actually,
this beard.
You know what? I mean, we're already off the rails here at the start, but I do want to mention at the top of the show, shame on me. Guys, I do want to mention we just recently put out an episode in our playlist. If you go back and check out our Late Night at the Movies playlist, I did want to give a special shout out to Julie because she edited a great episode that we just put out of. We've, our episodes that we put out every couple of months of what we've been watching. We did one for January and February of this new year so far, 2026, and she did just did a great job editing the video up for you guys. There's a lot of funny stuff on there that she added into the video itself. In Max's words, and I quote, it's made the show watchable for the first time ever. So you guys make sure to go check that one out. It's great. No, it really does. You did a great job, Julie. So
Awesome
hats
job.
off, honestly.
Awesome.
Congrats. Yeah, thank you.
It's a great insight into my mind because it's like I just think in memes.
Oh, that's awesome, actually.
Yeah,
I
no,
love that.
it honestly added a lot to honestly a very basic show that we put together where we're just naming off what we've been watching, guys. So it really added a lot to the episode. I gotta say, Julie did a great job. So make sure to
Great
check
job.
that out. Please do me a favor. If you check out these shows, make sure to check that out and like and subscribe as always. But go ahead.
Basically, no one's safe.
Yeah, no, we all get.
Oh yeah, I'm so,
We all get. Yeah, Julie had a lot to with that one. I'll say that much.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
But she also kind of subjected herself to some
I did.
ridicule there though as well. So, if you didn't think we made fun of each other enough on this show, make sure to check this one out. It's great. And there was a lot of stuff left on the editing room floor too. I'll leave it at that. But go ahead, Jay. Sorry, Jay.
So, yeah, guys, back to the show. All right.
Sorry.
We're good to go. But yeah, so this pick I chose because, like I said, I watched it as a kid. Not this one, but I've grown up watching Star Trek with my old man, and so it brings back a lot of childhood memories. This is probably one of the harder ones to dissect because this is kind of J.J. Abrams taking it to a different level when it comes to make it a Star Trek sort of movie, and it's in my way to say it, it's probably like keeping it in the making a multiverse out of something, so that you can always kind of just revisit, especially a franchise this big, and I realize because I mean, really, they weren't that far in the original series from where they are now in real life, in a sense, so they had to have sort of, in case this franchise keeps going on, they don't know how long we're going to be on this fucking planet. Nobody does, right? At the end of the day. So this is a way of them trying to sort it out and kind of create a division of the old Star Trek versus the new Star Trek movies. And there is a certain way to watch these ones if you really want to watch them in orders, from the way they should be watched is what they're saying in a sense, to understand a lot of this plot twist and stuff that goes around in this one. But this one, yeah, it basically starts off in 2020, 2000 to what is it, 2020, 2033. Sorry, that was a tongue twister for me. 2033. So it starts off with, you get a Federation starship, and you're getting your first peek at the Romulans for this start of the series. But the Romulans are a type of Vulcan, let's say, which is like Spock.
Alien race.
Yeah, which kind of
show.
went against. They went against the way that the Vulcans
Oh, is that what the
control
Romulans are?
emotions. Yeah, the way they're like the
I thought it was that shitty alien movie that came out 2 years ago.
No, that's Romulus.
I just
Also called it shit. He had to throw that out there.
No,
I like that movie. Screw you.
Go ahead, James.
so yeah, it originally starts off like that, and it's showing you guys where it's gonna take this. It goes back into the future. They appear forward in the future. They're trying to find, ultimately they're trying to connect Spock to a lot of stuff that's gone on with this red matter, which is something that they talk about in Star Trek, and it's something that they can create a black hole, what do you call that? A singularity of some sort, right? And it can cause a black hole, and there's a whole bunch of interesting things that come along with that if you really want to nerd out down into the Star Trek. But I picked this one because I figured, you know what, it's a fresh take of a more high paced, high octane, more energy in this than you've gotten through previous Star Trek films and stuff like that. It's a lot more
Bigger budget.
realistic. Yeah, a lot more a bigger budget, massive budget. I mean,
Yeah.
considering the actors and stuff that they have in here for
Sure.
even just small fucking parts. But at the end of the day, it's basically them trying to save Earth. At the end of the day, it's really what's happening. You know, Starfleet is a U.S. What do they call it? I wrote it down here. A U.S.
Kelvin.
Sorry, the Federation is where the fuck is my paper? See, this is why I hate papers, guys.
Oh my God, you actually made notes.
Yeah,
You actually made notes.
yeah. Well, it's basically a humanitarian mission. They basically are there to protect the planets that are joined with
Yeah.
this Federation, and
They're tasked to go outside and learn from other planets and
Yeah,
like collect
and-
research and save
it's a
kind
humanitarian
of like the
mission.
space UN essentially. Like it seems like, right? Like if I'm not like I don't know if
They're
I'm
the
misrepresenting
peacekeepers
what
of
they
the-
are. Yeah, Peace Corps kind of thing. Yeah.
They try to keep the peace. They try to go out on these things, and then they're always trying to find and discover new things too along the way. But yeah, so the first I going off in the beginning. It starts off like with them reading the Romulan ship greeting the Calvin ship, which is USS Calvin, which is a ship prior to even the explosion of Romulus, which is another planet that these guys are trying to figure out what's happening, right? So in there you get the Romulans reach out and they want him to come aboard, the captain of that ship of the Calvin. I don't remember his name. It didn't really mention his name too much
Yeah,
because that
The
one
homie
doesn't
that kidnapped Iron Man, right? Like that.
the black guy. Yeah, I don't know what his name is. But
Like Indian or something. I don't know.
he's what?
Like Indian, maybe. I don't know.
The dude at the
No.
start you're talking about.
Yeah, the
Captain.
captain at the start, right at the beginning. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they don't really mention his name there, right? It's just he's dealing with what's going on. They just this thing came out of nowhere. It came out of a black hole from the future, and it came back in time, and it's trying to get to it's trying to find essentially Spock, right? Because
His name was Captain Rabot.
Captain Reboot.
Yeah, and it's played by Ferran Tahir. I'm just looking up the cast right now.
Leader of the Ten
Yeah,
Rings.
there's a huge cast here. It's like you can't they brought everybody. They've got different actors. They've gotten a lot of different things in this one. So it's they mess with the timeline. You get young Spock. You get
And
but
he
that's
is
what-
Raza in Iron Man, as you
Yeah,
referred to. Yeah,
That's
I
how
remember.
That's how
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that guy from.
Which is actually the year before this. So
Yeah, that was like the same
He
time.
was having some good success here at this point in time in terms of the franchises he was part of.
Probably haven't seen him since then. You know?
It's been a while, yeah.
Well,
probably.
so they start getting attacked by this Romulan ship, right? And because they get boarded, and they say for the captain to come aboard, they put Chris Hemsworth, which is technically Kirk's father in this,
Yeah.
right? Which they don't really talk too much about, even in the original Star Trek.
No.
This is kind of
George
where they
Kirk?
threw this twist in. Yeah, this is where they threw this twist in. This is where you can see stuff where they were able to kill people off and stuff like that, right? Or bring them back in different timelines. It's just they this is where you see the beginning of that curvature, if you know, and that space time continuum, and those lines and those multiverses. So you get Kirk's dad ultimately having to be the captain because they killed the captain that boarded. He realized he was in the wrong time, Nero, which was the Romulus captain, He realizes that he's in the wrong timeline, and he kills him, and Kirk's dad takes over, and he's running the ship from there. He starts getting attacked. He realizes that they have to abandon ship, and he goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
And basically, in the beginning of this, Kirk's. Before I mention, I mean, Kirk's also is in his mother's belly right now at this moment. So when all this is happening, Kirk's not even born. The Kirk that we know as Captain Kirk isn't even born at this moment. So they get rid of it. Everything, he goes down with the ship, but everything's always changing. It's a multiverse. It's if you figured how the Marvel stuff works and everything like that, it all plays out the same sort of sequence, right?
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like in the current Star Trek? Like, I know you watch them. I'm not really up to date with Star Trek at all, but from what my understanding is now with the newer series, that's what they've essentially done, right? Is converged all the timelines into like they're trying to make sense of everything at this point. Like, is that what right? Like at some
they're
point,
so far ahead right now. They're in like the 25th century or somewhere in the 25th century,
right?
These new ones, right? So they're kind of out of the realm of all this, right? Where this,
but then they try to make sense of everything that kind of came before it, though, like in terms of like,
TV show wise, but
all the offshoots of captains and different franchises,
yeah,
TV and movies. They were trying to make sense of it all, right? Like
these ones were a lot more based with this stuff here is the TV stuff. No, but the TV stuff is a different. Is kind of like a different thing. They have it. It's part of more of like
this movie
certain ones are
continuity
connected.
has nothing to do with the television series.
No, but they're trying to do basically the same thing with the television series as well.
Right.
Which is what I think what they're doing, because they're mentioning it, and then they're able to. The two different shows are two different timelines, and you see
are playing off of each other.
They're playing. You see one character from there going the other one, but this is so many years further. After.
I think you made a good comparison when you said about like the way it's gone now with the franchise and the fact that they kind of have to keep trying to kind of, bring it back for the fans in a way and reboot it. I think you made a good comparison from everything that I know to like you said, with the Marvel and the multiverse type stuff, because there's a lot of that kind of stuff that happened too. Right now, they're having the X-Men. They're bringing the X-Men into like the proper film universe. They did it with Spider-Man as well, because these were all owned by different companies, right? So they've had a hard time of aligning all of their properties as well, right? So
yeah, and they did it with I think it was a Flash and stuff like that. Anything that can was it?
Well, that's just like Star Trek, because the CW, the shows are different than the movie timeline, right? Yeah. So but then
you get to things like
crossover, and even in that regard, right?
But even TV shows, you get crossover. You get crossover with the older like Picard stuff, right? The Picard and this kind of connects the timeline together, because Picard and the first set of movies, the first set of movies kind of are connected in that sense, where it's kind of introducing you slowly into the new but then J.J. Abrams went all out. He went. This is where it shows to the Picard process, because let's say Star Trek Nemesis was the one you would watch last of the movies
of the modern ones.
Yeah, you would go to this, but since Nemesis came out in 2022, when you're going to watch Picard comes out.
And it's
like
referencing
2020.
Nemesis. Right, right.
Yeah, they're referencing Nemesis.
They're
They're
not
referencing
referencing this.
everything that's happened with the Romulans.
Yeah.
You haven't even seen like the new stuff. This is after the burn, where the planet is destroyed
Right.
and gets put back together. There's so much stuff going on with Star Trek right now, and I
Right.
think it's probably in one of the best eras that I've seen it in.
That's what I've kept hearing from fans, is that right now, like the current stuff.
And they're trying to pull people in. They're trying
Right.
to pull new viewers. They're trying to pull younger kids in. Like I've noticed my nephew's been watching it. My youngest nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been getting into the Academy one, which
Okay.
I thought was really cool
That's
because
the Starfleet Academy, like the
the
younger
TV shows,
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
just to show you what it's like. And I mean, there's a lot of things. There's been a lot of controversy too with certain things like that William Shatner said and stuff with like film lines and stuff like that about
Sure.
and
Even his involvement or
quoting
not
Gene-
involvement in these films, for
But-
that matter.
he's almost quoting Gene Roddenberry.
Right.
Not to say that he knows. He might be the only one that knows for sure what he was thinking, but he's basically saying that there was no interaction with crewmates and stuff like that. See, when you see the old, as opposed to this one was more action, more
Right.
kind of emotionally based
Wow.
with different people. As where
Well,
the old ones weren't based like that. They were
to
based
your
like
point,
military.
A lot of what you're saying, though, at least stuff that I've heard that happened on set, was because of William Shatner. At least problems that arose with the
Bro.
actors, like you said, like it wasn't all the unity wasn't there in the actual production of that show, right? And it didn't
No.
really reach its audience till years after, like in that sense, right? And yeah, I know a little bit about the history about that kind of stuff.
There's
Gene
a lot of
Roddenberry-
stuff there.
But his whole the whole thing that he envisioned was like a utopian future, and that's why he had all these different people that were representative of different cultures
Different
on
cultures.
the ship. Yeah,
Different
exactly.
planets,
Like,
different Earth, different planets.
exactly. So like
The
even
source.
in like that, the whole idea behind Star Trek, it actually comes from a good place, like in that sense.
It's almost like and I hate to say it, but right now it's almost like a proper democracy. And eventually, if we can't be on this planet, they're going to end up looking for things and places to go.
But
That's
they
why I
find-
believe in this.
but they find ways with the villains in these series to have because they don't like the way that they do things, right? Because you got to understand, like a lot of these aliens aren't part of this federation of planets with them too.
Technology
right?
is better.
Right.
Certain things.
So-
It's just kind of like what's going on the planet.
So yeah, I'll just jump in here. I felt like I watched this probably 2 other times. I own the film. I watched it in theaters when it came out. This was a really good jumping on point for me for this franchise. I've seen a bunch of handfuls of the old episodes of the.
It's hard
series.
to remember them though.
Well, that's the thing, and I don't watch them as much as you have over the years. I've watched a bunch of Last Generation, the Picard one. I've watched Next Generation. What's that called? Next Generation, right?
I
That
did
one.
watch a bit of that and Picard, but that's it. Before that, I've watched the movies, but it was vaguely with my old man. Right?
I've watched a handful of the older movies, and I've watched a handful of the original Star Trek. So, like, I have a bit of a knowledge, but like, this was, J.J. Abrams was doing this. He had a, he was a big name at this time, and like the fact that this was like a good jumping on point with newer up and coming actors and stuff like that. I seen this as a good way to kind of get into Star Trek at that time, and I went
and
and
they
watched
boosted it.
Yeah,
They boosted the hype with it because of the
Chris
action and
Pine
stuff too, right?
is Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
So I went and saw this in theaters. So I am a fan of this trilogy, but it has some problems. And quite frankly, revisiting this, and I think Jay, you already touched on this at the start. So I'm very interested to hear like what somebody like Julie, who has no interest in Star Trek, I know that's never seen anything, I don't think, really thought about this, because the plot is a little convoluted in this one. And I think it's one of those things where you do get more from it if you do have a history behind like Star Trek a bit.
It's hard to explain the plot.
Even for me, Jay, and I know a little bit about stuff, and even for me revisiting it, I was like, you know what? I was like unpacking like the plot of this film. There's a lot going on in this, like, and I feel like one of the worst things that they introduced in this film is the Deus Ex Machina of having old Spock involved from the future time, because even though it was cool in the moment, I'll tell you right now, that was super cool. It was super cool to see him see Leonard Nimoy show up at that time, and all the fans were going crazy. It was bad that they included him in this way in this film, because as the series goes on, it actually is bad. He continues on in these films. Like, he is still in their timeline, which I think is it causes so much issues in terms of the story, like moving forward after this, even in this a little bit, because you're like, he knows how things play out. It's weird. Like,
he started his kind of own side of the way he was going to go with the timeline. Now with the TV shows, I think they're setting it up for a whole different way.
Yeah.
But because of because Spock stayed there with himself, right? He was able to meet Picard.
Right.
In that sense. That's where the generation and Picard and all that play into the new sets of stuff that are out there. And how you can keep them with these movies in there as well, with the Into the Darkness and Beyond, right?
Yeah. I was trying to say it was detrimental. I said deterrent or something earlier, but it was detrimental to this series, I felt like as it went on, because I think it caused a big issue in terms of like him just being around. Like it was cool to see him, but he should have went back to his time at the end of this film. Like, honestly, no, it's true. I mean, that's my opinion.
Go back to your time.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
No, I listen,
no, but it's like
I'm
a butterfly effect.
I'm speaking ahead though. I've seen the rest of the films,
Right.
and I think as the trilogy went on, people really disliked this part about these films. Like, I don't want to speak for all Star Trek fans, but I feel like it became an issue. Like, and I don't know how happy they were even to see him. And I think it was cool to see Leonard Nimoy at the time.
That was the thing that was cool to see.
But now, Jay, it's so obvious that they literally, I don't think they thought about the lasting effects of having him around more so than, oh my God, we can get Leonard Nimoy because he's still alive and let's bring him in these films, which, who can resist? Like, I get it. Like, but at the same time, it's like, I think it's bad for the plot of the future films. And by the way, I think the second one in this trilogy is my favorite one, Into Darkness, and the third one's my least favorite one. So this is kind of in the middle for me, this one, if I can, I'll throw that out there from what I can recall. I think the second one's really good, the one that comes after this, because now at that time you have the whole crew having worked together for a while now, and I love this from
timelines. You take this is the problem too, right? And you get that butterfly ripple. Regardless if it's a timeline jump, you're still gonna have a ripple effect in everything.
That's what I mean. It becomes complicated, like unnecessarily complicated as it goes on, right? Like it's.
I feel like
the detriment of the film. Yeah. So
I also feel like they didn't want to. What's the word? They didn't realize that this franchise was going to keep going still. Right. I think even with these movies in there, okay, that it was going to carry on another 10 years to 20 years, right? And still, like, now that they've gotten rebooted, and now that we've gotten so much more, since 2016, we've gotten so much more crazy interstellar pictures of space, that it's never looked so much more realistic, Star Trek, if you were to use it in a TV show or that footage in a film of some sort, right? That it's just, this is what I've always envisioned Star Trek being. Like, even in this movie, 2009, the technology, they were trying to portray technology from to whatever, the 20, which was supposed to be like the old Star Trek time, but the technology was still crappy compared to what we have now, and it's hard to, even the stuff that you see them have now, we've already got that kind of technology. I mean, except for nowadays they're just throwing stuff out instead of having an actual fucking, there's one day we're just gonna have to go like this and we can put all our fucking computer stuff like this, we can just pretend it's the air. It's gonna be some microchip.
And this is technically this 2009 Star Trek. This is a reboot of the franchise, right? Like, this
it's giving it a boost and restarting it from the beginning.
This is trying to show you, this is based off the original Star Trek television show, which later became a series of films. That's what this, so it says they had about 3 seasons, I think, of the original Star Trek, and then it went off the air, and then it found a larger audience in the years preceding it, and then they came out with the films later on, because they kind of were like, okay, we got something here. People really like this. And then in the 90s, you got the Next Generation with Picard on there.
Well, in the 80s, you got every 2 years they came out with a movie.
Yeah.
Literally every 2 years they came out. That's how big it was in that. And up
all the way into with Nemesis, like you said, I think was the
Nemesis
last.
killed it.
Yeah.
You know, and then they had to give it a reboot. They call it the Calvin timeline.
So it has a long history of film and television, for that fact, ever since back in the day. What was it, 60s, the original series, or 70s? 60s, right?
60s,
Yeah.
60s. Right.
So yeah, no, that's so anyways, what would you guys think, Max or Julie, or
Do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
So I remember when this movie came out for sure. Like I was like maybe 13 years old or whatever. Like but I didn't see it initially when it came out. Like I feel like for my generation, like people who were born when I was born, like in the mid 90s, like I feel like Star Trek just didn't really penetrate us like that. Like there was like a gap, I think. Like
Nice word, bro.
Yeah.
So no Diddy, sorry. God, I'm like feeling so self-conscious knowing like what fucking
Really
edits
can do now. Yeah, that's why I've been thinking in my head. How you think? Why you think I've been talking so quietly?
That's what I'm saying. The whole time you were talking, I'm just thinking like, holy shit, what is Julie gonna do with this footage? Like no one man should have or woman should have that much power.
Star Trek didn't penetrate me like this back in the day. You see Captain Kirk like
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the wrong show. I think you were thinking of
I think you just imagine like a Diddy meme just gonna pull out or whatever, like what's up, Playboy, right? Like
can't stop.
with that big penis fucking flying ship. Oh,
Take that. Dave Chappelle as fucking Diddy.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I kind of walked myself into that one.
No, go on.
It didn't.
Not like Star Wars. Not like Star Wars.
It didn't touch us
That's
down
for
there.
sure. At least for some of us.
Yeah, no. Like Star Wars, totally. Because Star Wars, like
gives me a boner.
At episode
the
1.
prequels were coming out when I was a kid, and I also feel like now having actually watched this movie. Well, I was gonna say like,
have you never seen this before?
No, I have seen it.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw it. So I want to say this movie came out like in the spring of 2009. I want to say like March, April, May, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it until like July, and I actually saw it at the Kingsway Theater. Like, you guys will know.
Lit.
Yeah, I saw it there.
Oh,
like,
sweet.
My parents took me, and because of the word of mouth of the movie was so good, and was so good, and so like I was like. I'm like scared to talk now. It had a good reception. Okay, it had a good critical reception. Also, like there were some kids in my grade that were like, "Yo, this movie's a sick," right? Like they're amping it up, right? So I asked my parents to take me to go see it. And like, if you ever go see a movie at the Kingsway, it's you, whoever you're with, and then like 3 other people, and that's it. Like every showing. And so we were just watching it. Like I might have seen it like mid-July of that year, and I feel like the hype behind the movie kind of died down a bit. But you know what's so funny is like, because like my sleeping habit, it's still bad to this day, my sleeping habits, but it's really bad in the summertime. So I actually remember like dozing off a lot during the movie, not because it was a bad movie, but just because like I just had no sleep in me, right? So I feel like I didn't really see it properly that one time I watched it. So now this was like when we did it for this show is kind of like the first time I properly front to end undivided attention watching it. And I like this movie. I actually like it a lot. In fact, I liked it so much that I went ahead and watched the sequels too.
The second one's better though, right? Like I from what I remember, I like Into Darkness more. Personally.
Yeah, no, I liked all of them. But the thing, okay, I have to say, I'm
is
like,
Idris Elba the one in the third one?
I'm halfway through the third one. I didn't actually get to finish
Benedict Cumberbatch is the bad guy in the second one.
Yeah, and
right?
he killed it. And I like
He's
Benedict.
Sick in it. That's why I think the second one's the best one in my opinion.
You know what? I don't know. I like them all. Like I'm enjoying it all. And you know what? I can actually even see myself like actually going back and venturing into Star Trek.
Very nice. Look at that.
Hey, like you've converted me, bro. Like I really like the movie. I probably have done more.
That's what I try to do.
I've done probably more like of a dive for this movie than any other like choices. Like I think because like not only did I watch this movie twice, but then I showed it to my brother, and so then I watched this movie again with him, and I watched Into Darkness actually twice, once by myself, and then once showing him. And I like the past 3 or 4 days I've been trying to finish Beyond Star Trek Beyond, like the last one that came out, but I just couldn't. Like stuff kept coming up and I couldn't finish it. But I really want to finish that movie, the one that Justin Lin.
So you haven't finished the third one,
but I'm liking it.
Are my comments making any sense though about
Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah.
Okay, so Leonard Nimoy is my favorite thing about this movie. about the first.
Don't you think he becomes problematic
But the
that he
second-
sticks around though in the series?
You know what? I not really because in the
Okay.
second movie he's only there for a scene. One scene he's in there for. When
Is he in the
Spock.
third one a lot?
I didn't see him. No, in the third one he's okay. I can't.
He died.
He passed away.
Yeah, that's right. In
So
real
the-
life. In real life, I think he did.
I don't
right?
know about real life, but in the movie he died. Like Spock is
Yeah, yeah,
told
yeah,
of his
yeah,
like
yeah,
future
yeah.
version
Yeah.
dying or whatever. So he wasn't really that like the most he's ever in the Star
Maybe
Trek.
it's this one that I had
is
a
this
problem with. I don't know. I like him in this, but I also
don't know.
feel
I
like
think
it's weird that he's there for so long. Like
I
it's just
liked
like,
him, man. He was like super cool. He's like my favorite part of this movie. And by the way, I love Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto. I feel like anytime they're on screen together, it's just awesome. Like
strong
watching them,
cast in this film.
really strong cast. Zoe Saldana, all of them. Like the way they're just kind of even my man Carl Urban, like they all killed it. Simon Pegg,
Even
all
that
of them.
kid who died, who plays Chekhov.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
Carl Urban's the one from The Boys, right? Yeah.
Carl
Yeah,
Urban's McCoy.
All of them,
McCoy.
all of them
Yeah,
are
yeah.
sick.
Very
bro.
different voice in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
No, but you know John Chow. Where do we
His
see
best
John
boy.
Chow in?
Harold
Where do
and
we
Kumar.
see
Harold
John
and
Chow
Kumar.
in?
He's
Harold and Kumar, right? Yeah.
He's
John Cho.
Mr. Sulu.
Yeah. It's sick seeing him in there.
No, but I
too.
thought I seen him on a show too as well. But
He's
no,
been in
I
lots
might be
of
wrong.
things.
Yeah, he's been,
Yeah.
he's been in a bunch of
He's
stuff.
been around.
Um,
Harold and Kumar most notably
Yeah.
though.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
right.
thing is like obviously like I feel like not to compare the two, but I feel like it's so like easy to compare the two. I feel like Star Wars is like more for kids. It's more action. It's more like kind of fast paced in that sense. Whenever I would see Star Trek on TV, it just seemed boring to me because these
Same.
characters are just talking or whatever. It was very dialogue. But now I
think
realize
that
it's
was
because it's a more mature show. Like
Yeah,
they're
it
diving
is.
into deep
Oh,
shit, kind of. You know what I mean?
Most of the time that I ended up watching it is just because it was on constantly.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it's
was
not
always
like-
on, but I never watched it. I never really.
I-
paid
because it was
would-
prime time, bro. It was
I
it was
would
on all the
sometimes.
time.
Yeah, I would sometimes.
I would watch it for
There
like
was
a
hot
minute
chicks
or-
on it sometimes, like you know what I mean.
All
Like
the alien girls.
You know
yeah,
what?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
But are you guys talking about like next generation type stuff?
Next
Yeah.
generation.
I have
Okay,
no
that would
idea
be
what
more.
version they would play on TV.
No, he's probably talking more along the lines like of like
Enterprise,
Voyager and stuff like that.
Voyager, and-
I watched a bit of that too. Which was the one with the black captain?
Deep Space Nine?
No, that's the
Deep
woman
Space
captain.
Nine.
That's the woman captain in
No.
that one.
No,
Isn't
Deep
it?
Space Nine is the guy captain.
The
He's
The
the
black
guy
captain.
captain. The
Black
black guy
male
The black
captain. yeah.
captain. Yeah,
Black,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Deep Space Nine.
Okay, then
Discovery. The
Black
new
woman
Discovery
one
one
is
is the black
Discovery.
one.
it's Discovery.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
new
Yeah.
shit.
No, I'm
That's
talking
the-
about the woman, the other woman captain that's on one of the shows. I think that's
Yeah, Voyager. Janeway.
Voyager. Thank you.
Voyager.
Yeah.
She's the shit. I love that one, man. That's one of my
She
favorite
was in,
series.
she's in Orange is the New Black. She's the cook.
Yeah. She's red.
Red.
whatever the fuck,
Yeah. And Orange is the New Black. Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, I dig this movie. I think it's really cool. I feel like also, and this is like me saying this without really properly watching the quote unquote real Star Trek, like the Gene Roddenberry and Generations or whatever stuff, like the Star Trek prior to this Star Trek. I feel like JJ like intentionally made this movie not just for people like for newer people to come into it, but also for like Star Wars people to come into it, because I feel like it is very actiony. Like this Star Trek is like more. I feel like, wouldn't you say it's more action packed than other Star Trek movies? Or
Oh,
is
this one here,
Yeah, you
I
would say
think
so,
still
right?
Voyager. I think Voyager and anything that came out like Voyager, there's a certain chronological order, and you can see where it differs, where the time. But even the years that the films were put out, or even the TV shows or the films were put out, you can see where that excitement differs. Like with this whole thing, he decided to take it to a different level where he made it more exciting, right?
Yeah.
For that, and nowadays too, it's actually a lot more action packed. It's
Mhm.
everything all in one in a sense, too,
Yeah,
right?
and it's just, I find it so ironic that he would go on to direct the Star Wars movies, and I think I like these Star Trek movies that he did way more than
Because yeah,
like
he went
his
to
Star Wars. He
Yeah,
ended
he-
up doing the new Star Wars movies, and
The first and the third one. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? The first one isn't a bad movie. It's just so
it's
like
fan
unoriginal.
servicey. It's basically
It's
the
so-
same film as the
Yeah,
first
which
film,
I don't know
yeah.
why. To this day, I'm like, why did they do that? But
It's
whatever.
not bad, but I agree with you.
I would never watch it
I
again,
do
you know?
prefer these films to his Star Wars.
Yeah,
films,
way
And
more,
I'm
way
a
more.
bigger Star Wars fan than I am a Star Trek fan, but I agree.
And I just like how cool Chris Pine is super cool in this movie, and And
Yeah,
I like that
he's
they're
awesome.
still. I like that they're still jamming to the Beastie Boys in the 23rd century.
Yeah,
Like
Sabotage.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was like some good needle drops in this
Yeah.
one. So yeah,
No.
anyways, that's just my 2 cents on it.
What about
All
you,
right.
Jimmy?
Let's hear it.
Oh,
Okay,
Shit.
you fucking dorks.
Well, you had to let us get that off. You know, we know. Listen, we had to give our
Let me do my best impression.
yo,
of
this
JT
movie
here.
is shit, right? Like she just.
It was interesting. It was fine. You know what though?
Let's go.
I didn't
had-
think it was going to be your jam personally, but did you at least enjoy the action in it?
I
Like,
just tried it. Like I think
It's
there's
very
other
much
stuff.
JT. I watched it in like 3 segments
okay.
while I was doing stuff
Okay.
like around the house.
Come on, that's not fair.
I forgot we were recording today, so I watched it last night.
Well, of course you're not gonna like it if you're not giving like any attention to it. You know what I mean?
I went back and I watched
Yeah.
shit that I was like, wait a minute. Like, if I felt like I wasn't paying attention for too long, I
You would
went back-
lose yourself. But you would lose yourself. That's the thing too. If you weren't paying attention for too long, that's the fucking problem with this one. Is that if you didn't, they put a lot of stuff on your plate right at one shot, and if you didn't know
That's
any
my
sort of
problem with
background
it.
history, yeah. If you didn't know any background history on it, what?
that's my problem with it.
Yeah, if you didn't, you could miss something. A whole scene could go.
Yeah,
by
but you
you.
know what,
agree with
Jay?
that.
Like, isn't that a failure of the film then? If that's what you're saying, because
It
like
is, in a sense.
shouldn't be- this is a reboot. It shouldn't be convoluted for
There's
a
a
person
chunk-
visiting it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, these
There's a
characters.
chunk of
No.
it in the middle that felt like it was way too fast paced. Like, I know it's an
Mm.
action movie. I understand that. I felt like they jammed way too much content.
in Leonard Nimoy's part where he explains what happened.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's
It's,
for me.
it's
Like,
around there.
I understand
What?
it.
Where you're starting to see the Demogorgon thing or whatever the hell it looks like? Because that's the thing
I
that
was gonna
reminds me of.
say that,
The
bro.
Snow Planet.
Yeah.
That
They-
looks
I
like a
can't believe they
Demogorgon.
mutinied him on a frozen planet with a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is it
no,
From-
yeah, that's what I thought. The first thing from
Oh,
from
like
Stranger
that,
Things.
like,
yeah.
like the
But
mouth
this came
of
out
it.
It's like
before
Demogorgon
Stranger Things.
Spider.
Yeah. And Winona Ryder's in this too.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Spock's mom.
Spock's mom.
Awesome. Yeah.
The
Which I
cast is
forgot about. I
stacked.
forgot. The cast is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I-
cast is stellar, and you got like Chris Hemsworth.
Not
Come on,
having
Julie.
any,
Affinity for this.
not having any previous experience in the
Mhm.
franchise.
No, neither have I.
There's
But, like-
yeah, there's such a certain way that you have to do it, and it sucks because he didn't get any of the background, and I kind of figured I thought maybe it
There-
would
there
help,
were a
but
lot
then
of
when I
moments where
rewatched
I
it,
could tell that they were like doing fan service.
Absolutely. They
but
were
I didn't
busting
know
out.
what
Sure.
the fuck was
They were
going
busting
on.
out lines from the shows, and
I
they
knew
were
the one.
busting
it
out,
was corny. Even I'll say it was corny.
I knew one. Like I picked up on it because of pop culture references.
I-
When he's going, I'm giving her everything she's got.
Right, right.
I've
Yeah.
heard that in other shit. So I
And
was
then
like,
McCoy,
okay.
he's like, "I'm a doctor,
Yeah.
Jim," or whatever. You know, that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
or
yeah.
he's not a physicist, or
Oh
whatever.
man, yeah,
Boy, like he always says something like that. There are
Yeah.
certain parts where, if you know the lines, you're kind of rolling your eyes at some points. There is a bit of that.
It's
There
one of
is,
these
like-
things where I'm like, I can imagine they're dropping this in a theater and everyone loses their shit.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know what the
Well, that
fuck's
was
going
Leonard
on.
Nimoy. When Leonard Nimoy showed
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
I remember that. Like people lost their shit when I
I
was
knew
watching
who he
this.
was in affiliation with
Sure.
the franchise.
He's also in a great Simpsons episode.
What
do you want on your hot
The-
dog, Spock? Surprise me.
The
He just
line-
throws a bunch of sauerkraut.
that I'm giving her everything she's got. I
Yeah.
recognized it from Chicken Run.
Okay, yeah.
They do a bit about it
Oh,
in Chicken, Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that.
And I was
movie.
like, oh, okay, that's what this is a
Yeah.
reference to.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even know that was a
obviously
Star
they're
Trek
referencing the
line.
original.
Yeah.
I'm giving everything she's got.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
in the engine room.
giving
And-
her everything she's got.
Yeah,
Scotty's doing that.
Yeah. He's it's always going crazy, and he's like, "I've given her everything she's got,
Oh,
Captain." Jim
shit.
Carrey.
Not enough power.
Jim
Her
Carrey in the
I can't do
original
the
Ace
accent.
Ventura. He does that.
Oh.
He does that too. He does that.
I had no idea.
He's Captain's log. Like he does the Kirk like impersonate. Jim Carrey does the best like
Yeah.
Captain Kirk like impersonation. Like if you, but it's more of William Shatner the way he would
Yes.
extend
His
overacting.
overacting.
Yeah. I'm looking around like,
Yes.
like the planet. And they would do that on Simpsons. They made
Yeah.
fun of that with
Family Guy for sure.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen so many Family Guy
it's
references.
ingrained in our culture so much, like in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah.
Like it
I
is.
know.
The
Like,
well runs deep.
yeah.
I don't think that it was bad.
Right.
I honestly was like, I know it's a trilogy, and I obviously didn't watch the other two, but I felt like that whatever that piece in the middle was, that I was like, what the fuck? it needed more time. And I know it's 2 hours long,
Mhm.
but it felt like a disjointed part where I was like, they are jamming too much shit in this small frame.
They had a lot of scenes where they
I-
did that. They would do big chunks of a storyline, and then they would have little fucking pieces in there, and every minute it would change to something else. That's why it felt like too.
Nothing was
Also,
lost
such
on
a
me. I
long
wasn't-
watch.
Wasn't like I didn't understand what
Ye-
was going on.
oh,
I
okay.
followed it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it didn't feel like a confusing movie to me. Like the
No.
story makes kind of sense.
Well, I think that's interesting because I always thought that to be the case. I've never had this
Yeah.
opinion, but I did watch it this time, and I did think that's why I was interested to hear what you said for
Yeah.
someone who's never seen Star Trek. I did think that the explanation when it got to that whole future stuff with
when
Leonard
they're
Nimoy
like mind sharing
was a
or
little
whatever the
bit
hell.
convoluted. It was a little bit
'Cause,
like
That
confusing.
was part of it.
It was
but
a
it-
little. Listen, I understood
But
it.
if you
Yeah.
watch like anything with time travel, that's
You're right.
just kind of the
We've
thing.
been
you know?
served
Like,
enough of it at this time. Like, again,
you just know that like that's a thing. Like,
it's not that I didn't understand it. It's that I did notice that though upon this watch, and I've seen the movie like a couple of times, but I did kind of.
But it wasn't even just
Well-
that part. It went on longer than that. It
Okay.
like went on. I don't know. It's a span of like a half hour of the movie that I was like, why the
okay,
fuck
yeah,
are
that's
they?
more than
You
this
know-
one
Are
I'm
they
referring
hitting-
to.
you
then.
know,
I don't
You
know.
know, if you hadn't seen any like Star Trek thing, you would just see that this is the older version of the Spock that Zachary Quinto is playing. Like you just see it's like an older version of a character you're already familiar with. But like I guess for the fans, you see, oh, that's Leonard Nimoy, and that's like he played Spock in the originals, and like they're kind of like connecting the timelines or whatever, right? So
It's
it's kind
almost
of
like
like
so nobody ever dies.
I think it
really.
works on both levels. I think it works. Like I actually think it's kind of like what JJ did. And personally, I'm not really like the biggest JJ fan. Like I haven't really enjoyed most of what I've seen
Me
from him.
neither.
Like I remember my friends dragging me to go see that Super 8 movie, and I didn't like it so
At the
much.
time, that was a big movie.
I
though.
didn't like it. Like I remember seeing it in
it-
theaters, not
it
liking
was pretty.
it. You know?
A lot of people like that movie.
Yeah. Mission Impossible 3. Like all I remember is Philip Seymour Hoffman. So like I just like
Here's
JJ has just never been like a
Here-
hero to
here's
me.
the
Like,
thing. JJ is a name that you add to as on a producer credit, as far as I'm concerned. Like, for a
yeah,
lot of
not
things.
much of a
and not
filmmaker.
much of like and everyone kind of always like, he always wanted to try to be Spielberg.
Right.
He's
Yeah, he
he's
always kind of bought himself. Spielberg,
Super 8 is
Lucas.
basically his
It is,
Spielberg,
yeah,
right?
it
Like
is.
that's like
And
it's a very Spielberg.
I know him and Matt
coded
Reeves.
movie.
I know him and Matt
Have
Reeves.
you seen Super 8?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's
I
based-
know what it is
yeah.
though.
It's a motel,
I
isn't it?
I know him and Matt Reeves are good
It's a motel.
friends. The guy that did like
In the
Cloverfield
future.
and the Batman, the newest Batman movie, and the Planet of the Apes movies, like the new ones. Like
Yeah.
that director, like him and JJ are like very close with each other. And but like I just like not to say that he was a bad filmmaker, JJ. I just didn't like really love anything. This one and the sequel to Star Trek are easily my favorite thing that he's ever done.
I
like
would agree.
I put it over everything that I've seen.
I
of
would
his.
agree.
And I just think he did a good job of like throwing like new like making the story so that people who don't know anything about Star Trek could kind of just see it for what it is. And then I think there's fan service enough that like older fans or whatever will appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I hear from a lot of like OG Star Trek fans, like I just see the chatter online. A lot of people don't actually like these movies, like these
I'm telling
these
you,
Kelvin
the Spock
timeline.
thing is
Like the
one of
OG
the reasons.
veterans.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
telling
They don't
you,
like
the
that.
Spock thing is one of the reasons that people don't like this.
Do you fall into that category, Jay? Like, or like,
I agree with Nico what he's saying about the Spock thing. They did keep him around too long, but this is the only way I think they could connect it with Picard and everything there together. Because
Picard.
yeah,
Picard,
that
the
whole
show. The
the
show that comes
because
later.
remember,
Oh.
yeah, and he
Oh,
meets
okay.
him during this time period in that sense when they're kind of you know because he's already met him and he's coming back and it's see the thing too is that with Spock he has a line in there in this itself. So he says if the element if you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable,
Oh, I
must
love
be
that
the
line.
truth.
I like that line.
So right, so but by
That's
doing
what
that,
young
it's almost
Spock says.
contradict. Pardon?
Isn't that what the young Spock says when they're on the
Yes,
on the ship?
yes.
Yeah.
yes, but it's almost contradicting of I mean of how they're playing this out really at the end of the day.
he also contradicts himself where he shows up at the end and he's like, "Don't tell them that you saw me." And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Bro, and he's
Like,
going
he
and
said
he's
that he was lying.
he's changing
know, but,
everything.
like,
He's
it's
literally
just like-
changing
He said that
everything.
he did that intentionally, right? Like, explains it that scene.
It's such a Deus
But
Ex
that was
Machina.
convoluted.
It's such a Deus Ex Machina, though, that he is existing there in that
In that
timeline.
timeline, yeah.
And meanwhile, he knows how everything plays out because he's lived it already. So
Yeah.
it's like,
but
it's
I,
like-
They
I
don't
think-
look.
no,
Did you
but it-
notice they don't look at each other, right?
No,
Him and his
hold on,
his
hold
new
on,
self.
hold on.
Isn't he from an alternate?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's an
timeline. That's
alternate
right. That's
timeline.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so
It's
That's
an
different.
right.
alternate.
My
They
mistake.
changed.
My
okay.
mistake. My
They
mistake.
changed
I was
the.
like, did I
I got
misunderstand the
confused. See,
movie?
that's what I mean. I got
No,
confused.
They changed the course of history after the USS Kelvin blows up, like the one that
But-
Kurt's
Yes.
father is
But
in.
he knows
That's
all
why-
these people he encounters. He has a history
Yeah,
with his
he
own
does, but-
versions of them. Is
but-
what I'm
but-
saying.
but that
Because
does
he
not
keeps
mean-
following through in and out with the red
I
matter.
know.
Like
But
he's
that
trying to
does not
track down
mean-
Romulans.
No, you're right. Good catch.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I was like,
No,
did
but-
I not get it?
No, it is.
No, but that does not mean that like the young Spock won't die, like cannot die. Like he
Right.
can still die. And
He could, yeah.
I don't know if Leonard Nimoy would die in the same moment or not. I don't know how.
It's
time
like one of
travel-
those like mirror universes
Yeah.
where like everything's like basically the same but different in a
It just
way.
it just
Like, it's-
convert like it's like an alternate
Exactly.
timeline, and it almost explains why the characters look different than their
But
60s version.
Listen,
like,
I
kind
love
of.
time travel stuff, but this is the problem when you start doing shit like this and you
Yes.
start picking things apart. It
Yeah,
all
you
falls
can't take
apart.
it
It
too
all-
seriously.
exactly.
You know?
And
Exactly.
you can't overthink it because
Yeah.
then the plot holes
It's
just start
complicating it.
to pop all over the
Yeah.
place. So
Right.
you're just like, well, if this happened, then why would this happen? And then
And
so, like,
that's
that's why it is an issue that he.
that's
sticks
why they're trying.
around.
Yeah, and now they're trying to come back together again,
Right.
Because they're they're just trying to straighten all this stuff out because
Right.
it is getting a lot more hype than it has been in years, right?
That was the
It's
chief complaint about these
But
films,
you know, the
and
thing
I
is-
can't
the thing is,
disagree. I can't
he
disagree.
appears- if you go back and watch the second one, he appears in it for like a brief scene.
That I
It's
don't
like
remember.
A cameo.
That I don't remember.
third
Well,
one, I
they
don't-
should be bringing in out. They should be bringing out the real Captain Kirk, 94 years old
Oh
over there.
man, oh man. Imagine
But
you
again,
that.
just the fact
William
that he's
Shatner.
still around is just
Is
like,
William Shatner
Unbelie-
still alive?
He's Superman, bro.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
guy.
He is.
He fell off a horse and he just broke his shoulder. That's it.
true. Yeah.
He's Superman.
But
Straight up, he doesn't die. He's got to be from out of this world.
I don't know what the thing is like the Leonard Nimoy Spock to me is like my favorite part of the movie, just because like the Spock that you kind of see throughout the movie is kind of a dick. Like,
I
but I
actually,
like him though. Like,
I actually
like
love Zachary Quinto.
I
as
love
Spock,
him too,
I
but he's
actually
kind
love
of a
Zachary
dick at the
Quinto.
same time. Like,
but he is kind of a dick. Even
he's
in the
got
old
a dick,
Star
and then you
Trek,
see Leonard
like,
Nimoy is like this sweet older guy. and
but he's actually
he
got
has, like,
emotions.
spaceship, he's all cute and shit. Like, what? What did you say?
No, but he's got a different type of emotions as the old Spock, as opposed to the younger Spock. It's a disability or disadvantage that he's half human, right? I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that,
Yeah.
bro. When they said that's basically saying that you're an idiot because you're half human.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Well, let's get into. You want to get into favorite scenes and quotes? I think we
Oh
kind of
my
got into
God.
our issue. Unless Julie, you have anything
Oh,
more
sorry,
you
yeah,
want to add?
Julie.
Yeah, Julie, do you have anything else you want to add?
It
about-
just was fan service blockbuster.
Yeah.
It was fine to you, essentially. It sounds like
It was
It was okay.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough of the background to know like whether it
Did this pique your interest at all to continue like it did him?
I should get you to
Not
watch Starfleet
Okay.
Academy just to
I
start
might
it.
watch the other two.
I honestly think you should check out
I'm
the
not
second
gonna
one.
watch the show.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, the show
You
is,
don't- you don't need to
is a
watch the show. That's a
commitment.
whole
No.
other. Yeah.
that's
But
going to
if
be a
you-
whole nother
If
comeback.
you watch
yeah.
this trilogy, though, there's some good stuff in it. There is, and Benedict Cumberbatch is the bad guy in the next film. It's really he's really good in it.
Chris
is what I'm
Pine is a
saying.
really good like leading man
Benadryl
for a
cucumbers is
franchise. I
fine.
feel like.
I forgot that Eric Bana is the
Yeah, the
Romulan.
villain.
Yeah, bro.
I was
Hero.
like,
That's
I
the
was-
Hulk.
Bro, I was sitting there. No, I dislike those.
I know
Hulks.
you don't.
Anyways,
That's why I
but-
said it
I-
though.
Time Traveler's wife or whatever.
Bro, I was sitting there and I was like,
yeah.
who is that? And I couldn't remember,
Eric
like, because
B,
he's
yeah.
got like, he's shaved
Yeah.
and he's got like stuff on his
The
face,
Time
right? So, I
Traveler's wife.
so I couldn't remember. I had to look it up, bro. I'm like, oh shit, Eric Bana. I was like, yeah,
Eric
I
B,
forgot
yo.
about that. Yeah, that was cool.
Eric B. and Raquel.
Jay, I guess hit us with your favorite scenes and quotes. Jay, got it.
So
What do you like?
I like the first scene. I like that with the young Kirk there after everything's gone settled.
When he's
down
driving the
with-
car.
When he's driving the car. But
Yeah.
okay, question: how do you like the cell phone in that car, Julie?
Yeah.
The
Nokia?
Nokia touch radio, whatever the fuck he was using.
I
It was pretty fucked up.
didn't fucking even notice.
That's crazy.
I thought, yeah, it was like a little.
All I was
you know,
thinking watching that
it
scene
was
is
basically
JT
like your
was
screen.
cool as this kid.
I mean,
What?
he sits as low as JT
Yeah.
does in the car when he's driving.
I was like, JT looks at this kid and goes, "This guy's fucking cool."
Great song for the
Yo.
fucking scene.
That was a good
you're
Beatles
telling me you're telling me
Good
that
Beatles
wasn't
song.
sick.
Yeah.
Good
He
Beatles
stole the
song.
fucking car.
Hey,
yeah.
Sport Bros, come
Sport
on, you got
Bros.
it's coming up. Your category's
Hey.
coming up, guys.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, man.
You're Beastie Boys.
Yeah,
Sabotage.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah,
That's
They noticed.
Yeah, probably mine
Yeah.
too.
But yeah, so
I love-
then
I love
I
the,
love it how he did the fucking opening and he did the flip after he let the car go off the bridge, and
Yes.
after he's getting chased by the So that was a scene that I really enjoyed watching that part of it.
I take you
He-
back
He said, "Huh?
to when you were a fucking delinquent.
Oh yeah, hey, trust me,
Yeah,
it
I
did. I fucking remember taking my mom's car when I couldn't take it.
I
But I wasn't doing that.
Stand down, citizen. Right?
JT loves
wish-
dog.
It's literally the first
Yo, dude, he's
That's all
a kid, bro.
And I was like, JT's watching this. He's going, "Fuck yeah."
He's giving me a fucking boner. I was
Honestly,
ready.
though, honestly,
Yeehaw,
the
Captain
open-
Kirk.
The open of his father dying
Yeah.
with the
Pretty good.
Romulans, then the intro of like Kirk and
It
the
was so fast.
yeah,
It's set up well.
It's a great. This pacing is excellent in the
Yeah.
first bit of this
That's
movie.
good.
I love the introduction of Kirk hitting on
Yeah.
Uhura at the bar. That was fantastic.
I love
Like,
that.
he
Yeah.
is the man. Chris Pine is the man. in
He's
this
so
movie.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
Just
What
like
is he-
just oozing like
Charisma.
confidence and charisma. Yeah, just like he's cool as this character.
I didn't really know him from anything except like rom-coms before. Like,
He's been in some good movies actually. He is
Since.
yeah.
Hell or High Water?
Yeah, I was just about to
That's
say
a
that
good
one.
one.
Thank
was
you,
this
yeah.
like a breakout role for him as far
I
as
think
like
so.
switching
Yeah.
genres?
Yeah, and
I
he
think
was also
so.
in that Unstoppable movie with
Oh, that's
Denzel Washington.
great,
It was Tony
yeah.
Scott's last film, actually. Great
Okay.
movie.
Great movie.
Because like when I watched this, I was like, "Damn, I'm surprised they offered him this," because I only knew him from rom-com shit.
I honestly think it's how he looks. He kind of looks like a young, like kind of like.
Wasn't he in the Princess Diaries? One of them? Wasn't he like the,
He was in
the guy?
Who,
Right?
Chris
yeah,
Pine?
he was in Just My Luck with Lindsay
Yeah.
Lohan,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's in some other one from that era.
No, we were just talking about how much he's a good.
But Chris Evans
good
was
in
that
this.
guy too, and then he became fucking Marvel.
well,
dude.
I
Captain
I
America.
forgot that Chris
Chris
Hemsworth was his father in
Yeah.
this. I was just
Straight
like,
up, yeah.
I know, yeah.
2 years
young.
before Thor came
Yeah,
out,
he's
like,
young in this. Yeah.
Everyone is.
At one point, I thought it was one of the other Hemsworths. I said it to Christine.
Fucking
She's like,
Billy
"No, that's
Butcher.
Chris."
Oh,
I was
Chris.
like, I thought it
Young
was
as
like
shit.
Liam or something. I was like,
No.
"No,
No,
you
it's
don't."
Chris.
I was like, "What the hell? What is that?"
before
But,
anyone,
uh,
I think, knew who he was. Right?
Carl
Yeah.
Urban is young as fuck in this
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carl Urban's been in like all the geeky films though. At this point, he was Judge Dredd. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's been.
I didn't know that. I didn't
He-
know
he doesn't show his face in that film. in
I
that
didn't
Dredd
know
film.
him really until The Boys.
He's in all kinds of comic book movies and
Huh.
shows and geeky stuff. Like he does all kinds of stuff like this.
Simon Pegg is my favorite.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
great.
That's
And that
just-
alien buddy, that guy, the guy that's like,
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? I tried googling it, bro. I tried fucking
out from
finding
there.
out
the
what it
best
was.
part was when he gets transported. They beam the mothership. He's like, like
You eat, all you eat is a pea. What do you need?
he gets all sad.
Surprise.
He's gone. He left him on that desolate planet with you.
Yeah. He goes, but
I
he
still
said, he
don't
goes,
find
"Wait,
it
he's been waiting for a fucking steak."
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, one of my favorite parts was when they do the Jay, what's it called? This is from the show too, I think, that the Spock, what's it called? The not
Falcon salute.
no, the what the hell?
Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, Kobayashi Maru, which
The
I think,
test?
yeah.
I don't
The
even
test.
understand that scene.
The Kobayashi Maru test scene, just how confident he is sitting
When he's
there
like eating the
eating
apple.
the apple.
like,
Yeah,
all-
I just love
all
how
like a
he's got the
jerk,
shit
yeah.
eating grin on his
Yeah.
face.
Bro,
He's just like, yeah, just go ahead and do that. He's like, no, I
We
can't.
attack
do
him.
that."
No,
we're
the
okay. We're
test-
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
I don't even
simulation thing.
I don't understand how exactly he cheated. Like he just
So
He
the
put an
the
algorithm in of
the
some
test
sort.
is supposed to make you lose because it's supposed to teach a captain that you could die
Yeah,
and you
right.
basically are supposed to sacrifice, like
Yeah.
basically what his father did.
yeah.
And he
There's
knew a way to,
no-win
like-
situation.
But he
they
didn't
call
do
it.
anything to like
He hacked
Wait.
the program before they went in.
He
like
knew,
computer cracked it. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
oh
he knew how to
I-
mess with the system.
oh
Yeah.
oh. I
So-
thought he just like lost and then somehow it glitched the system. I was like
No.
what? Like
No,
No,
he
they
did.
said he hacked it before he went in.
He went in, yeah.
Like
he went
he-
in
yeah,
and,
he-
and messed
Okay,
with
so
the
he
whole
grilled his
thing.
He
pieces.
sabotaged
Which
the
kind
program.
of drives the point home there and then when he gets in when Spock gets in his face when he accuses
That's like
him.
their first like
Right.
Interaction.
and that's why they work well with each other, these two. But he was not ready to accept that there is not a no-win scenario.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
is so sick about the
Because
revelation.
it
Like
was
polar
cool.
opposites of each other in that way.
But
Right.
he even said it too in that moment. He said that you should know that there is no basically saying that your
That's
father
Yeah.
did it, right?
It's that one, and it's the
Captain
other
goes down with the fucking ship.
and it's the other scene. Honestly, in terms of action, I love when they fall on that platform, him and Sulu, and they're fighting on that floating.
Coming down from the parachuting,
Sick.
the space dive.
Yeah.
Yo, there's some crazy morbid scenes in this movie, like when that dude falls into the fucking fire, he just gets incinerated on the spot.
Oh, the Romulan.
No, like the third guy
On
that
that
they
pole.
parachuted with.
Yeah, those are Romulan. Oh no, that was
No,
one of
but
their guys.
One of their guys, and he just falls into the thing.
In
Or
that
like
series,
when the Vulcan temple is like collapsing and like rocks are crushing people, and like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when he's like trying to save his parents.
Yeah. But he
like,
got caught on his parachute got caught and he got dragged into the fire. Boom.
Into the fire. I was just like, holy
And quick,
shit,
2 seconds
crazy.
it happened. Yeah, it's just like incinerated because they're ultimately trying to just drill down into the planet, right?
Yeah, and to like throw the red matter into the core or whatever.
Yeah.
Their little multicolored suits
But
reminded
they tell you, no, hey, those
What?
suits, the
Power
colors,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the colors. But
It
let me
means
tell you
something,
something.
though.
Yeah, that's actually I was
The
gonna
colors.
ask a question, Jay. Like, what is there a
Like, they're
significance
different
between
colored
what color they wear?
uniforms?
Like,
Yes.
Uh,
So the yellow one, that's why Captain Kirk has
Yeah.
that. And then in
The
this-
yellow ones are the ones that are senior officers.
Yeah.
Then you
And-
got
because the
blue
kid
ones
has one too.
as well.
Like John
it's
Cho has
medical
one.
officers, right? The blue one,
Yeah.
medical.
and the red ones are usually the ones that
That
are
die.
the throwaway
The
characters.
Yes.
engineering, right?
So they used to call. There's a phrase where they call them red shirts in the old TV series. The guys that showed up with the red shirts in the show would
die.
always die on the planet that they would.
Oh
go
yeah,
to. That was like it became
that's
like
giving away the plot.
well,
Yeah,
it
it
just
is.
it became like a thing because they're disposable people. They're like pawns essentially. You know what I mean? Like they yeah, right, Jay? I'm right
Yeah.
about that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's changed now. It's just
Right.
doesn't they don't really discriminate on which color it is, right? To be honest with you, now it's just anybody. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time with any of the way they playing it. This one, no, they kind of kept it back with the original the original sequence and how they would play the colors, right?
Yeah.
But everything from here on out is all different. They're just trying it different, right? So
Yeah.
no, but that scene there, that was crazy. That one where they fall in with the parachute, the space
I
dive.
like the scene when Spock is a kid. And it's like nerds bullying other nerds, or like, have you prepared the insults for today, or whatever? Like,
But you see the way they were training them
leader.
in circles, like us right here. They were training them and to fucking
yeah.
Hmm.
They're like they're like all geniuses, right? The Vulcans or
Yeah.
Also, the part when
And
he
to
meets
suppress
the
their
council and they tell him
emotions.
that they're gonna allow him to join their group there, and he's just like, and he says that thing. Oh yeah,
You're
you've
disadvantaged.
overcome so much.
So much
Yeah.
thirsty.
Yeah, and he's like, "What do you mean by that?" And he says, "Well, because you're half human." And he's like, "Nah, it's okay. I'm good. I don't need this invite." Like, I just like that.
Yeah, he's like, "All right.
Yeah. He's like, "Well,
You'll
what
keep
did
your
you
records
do
flawless."
today?" Yeah, that was him just sticking it to them, though.
But
You know
then
what I
the
mean?
way-
I loved it.
At the end when he says "live long and prosper," but he says it like "go fuck
Yeah,
yourself."
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And you should have just did
Zachary Quinto is
mic
sick with
drop.
this character. Like,
He is. He
yeah,
did a great job. Honestly.
Zachary Quinto. This is probably my favorite Zachary Quinto role ever.
Mine
to be
too,
honest with
honestly.
you. Yeah, and I've seen him in a bunch of things, but like he's. I really like him as Spock.
No, he's a good
I
guy.
really
He's a
like
good
him
guy.
as Spock.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Yeah, that was another great scene too for me. Is that part where he's
Live
like,
long and
yeah,
prosper.
Yeah, go fuck
No,
yourself.
yeah, basically,
Oh, that's
bro,
what
it
he
was
said.
just a mic drop at the end, of that whole thing. It was crazy. So, but no, yeah. Who else? What else did you get? Any other scenes or quotes?
I like this scene when like Kirk kind of like baits him into baits Spock into like fighting him, basically to show him that he's like emotionally unfit to be the captain or whatever. And
Oh,
when
yeah,
he's like
they get up in
choking
each
him out
other's
and shit,
faces. Yeah.
Yeah, gets him in his face saying like you never loved your mom and shit, and then Spock starts like choking him out and shit.
Yeah.
And then, but like the scene that happens right after with that conversation with him and his dad, that was like I thought that was like a really cool, like a really
The
powerful scene.
turnaround from that scene is super fast too. Like he goes, "Oh, I'm emotionally unfit," and then he's back like 4 minutes later. Like,
Because his dad pep talks him.
Yeah,
though.
pep talks.
Yeah.
And then
But, like,
also
You're
The
right.
progression of that is like
I think they say
super
earlier
fast.
in the movie that like Vulcans have they have a higher emotional intelligence than humans.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're able to kind of like put away their emotions, and that's why they're all about logic.
Well,
This.
and that's the difference between them and the Romulans. The Romulans didn't want to suppress their emotions. They went out and did their own thing.
Mhm.
They're basically the same species, really. At the end of the day, or the
So
same.
even though there was like
same
such
being.
an emotional scene, he was able to kind of just recover it
Oh.
from it so fast because it's like
Yeah.
what's logically sound or whatever. Right?
Also, like the whole
highly illogical.
the whole scene with him destroying the Vulcan planet is basically like a playbook out of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like
100%.
that's like when they blow up
Princess
Leia's
Alderaan or whatever the fuck,
Alderaan.
right?
Yeah, like it's basically the same thing that happens in Star Wars. They destroy Princess Leia's planet and they make her watch it from the Death Star.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same thing that happens here, where he wanted Spock
a lot
to
of
witness.
Star Wars shit in here.
He
like,
wanted
a lot of
Spock to witness the destruction.
I even
of his
feel
planet.
like the beginning scene in this movie when the USS Kelvin is attacking the Romulan ship, like, and there's like all these all these shooting, like it just reminded me so much of like the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith. Remember when they're like going into that? There's like a big dog fight in space.
But the fact that there's like a trap involved, you mean, like with them, like what do you mean?
Just like the crazy, like the spaceship battles in space,
Oh,
like
yeah,
all
the
these
dog
lasers,
fight. Yeah,
all
yeah,
these
yeah.
lasers flying around and shit, and then like
Yeah.
Anakin and Obi are like trying to save the Chancellor or whatever.
The
like, it just
Romulan
reminds me of that
ship
scene.
is sick looking too. Like
Yeah.
that structure is
It's
crazy
like a little
looking.
claw or whatever. It's like
It's all
chrome.
jagged and like you know the ship
Yeah.
that comes out of
Yeah.
that black hole or whatever.
I like
Yeah.
Spock's ship too. The little fucking
It's
windmill.
considered to be in the future, right? Of that time, so they keep getting a reboot, like redone. The way the Romulan ship is all.
I like
built
when
and
they're
stuff,
they're
right?
like shooting at Spock's ship, but like when Zachary Quinto is flying it and they're shooting at him, and then he's just like, "Oh my god, this guy just went warp speed," and just like catch this guy, and like I don't know, I dug that shit. Like
I gotta test my osmosis Star Wars knowledge.
Okay.
The frozen planet, is that Hoth?
Yep.
yeah,
So when
totally.
they leave
Good-
him on
good
the
one,
fucking
Julie.
frozen planet,
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
It's like
I was
Hoth,
like,
yeah.
is he about to cut open a fucking
Tauntaun?
animal? It's like,
Yeah.
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 It made me think of that, even though I haven't seen the fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Even the creatures on that planet, like the Snow Planet, reminded me of
Yeah.
like creatures out of Star Wars too, like that polar bear thing that was like
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, those things reminded me of Stranger
the
Things. just the most
Rancor, the
recent.
Rancor from Star Wars, but like a snowy version of it, like
Yeah,
like
just-
something like that.
I can't believe they marooned him a frozen planet.
Yeah.
Like they
But there was
like
a
yeah, they were like, you're being a problem. Do they not have like a fucking barracks on the ship?
yeah, no,
Like, to put
it
him
was
in?
just Spock being a dick. Like he was a dick in this movie.
Yeah.
Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
That was
and I
wild.
think he like there was in the back of his mind. It's kind of funny because we were just talking about like emotions and him setting aside. But I feel like in the back of his mind, he was like hating on this guy because he like glitched his test or whatever. So he was just like,
oh yeah, there was that. He was
Yeah.
spite.
The
he
whole
just had
movie.
just had like a raging hate boner for him the whole movie.
Yeah, when they're in there and they have that little emotional thing, that's where you start to see a Spock that you don't see and you've never seen. He's got more of his human side coming out there. It's not suppressed so much. He's trying. Right?
I mean, even Leonard
did a good
Nimoy,
job.
Old Spock even
Did.
told him about how he's emotionally compromised to help
Yeah.
him out in that moment
Yeah.
as well. There's even that scene, right, where he kind of tells him, and then he goes back and pisses him off, and right away he's just like, "Ugh, I'm emotionally compromised."
Yeah.
Like you said, how it kind of flip flopped very quickly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then once that happened, it gave him the opportunity to become his second in command, which is basically
Right.
what it is moving forward for the entire, like, for the future of the
It just seemed to,
The
series.
like-
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids started the show, not the movie. I had the movie
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of were covering a lot of ground there. You're right. There was kind of maybe the pacing wasn't as great in that part of the film in terms of like the plot.
I get it though. They're trying to jam in a lot of
They are.
content to like
They are.
the launch of this reboot.
You got to remember too.
I
They
know.
also had to introduce Scotty. They didn't even introduce him till like halfway through
Halfway
the
through.
film, right? And
Yeah.
he's a big part of the crew as well. Like that's
He's the
Simon
best.
Pegg's.
He's the best
character.
part.
Yeah.
They're basically the whole
my favorite
movie.
part.
They're basically showing how the original cast becomes
Yeah.
like
Who they are.
implemented in their roles or whatever, kind of right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
in the beginning too, it's ultimately
That's made
but
obvious.
like in the beginning of Star Trek, I'm talking about like the '60s show. Do they
Oh.
actually show them meeting each other for the first time, or is it just they're
Yeah, they're
already
all on the
and
ship.
you kind of like have to like
They're on
You
the
know,
ship.
you basically get that they're already an established
Old
thing. Right?
Spock also had to put his
They're on the
fingers
ship.
in
The
in
only one that
back
dies is the captain.
he had to give him the formula of how to do
Yeah.
travel
Yeah,
by
the
warp
beam.
speed. He's like, don't worry, you figure this out eventually, but I'm just gonna give it to you
There
right
you go.
now. Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
not
he-
changing anything.
that's not
We're
problematic.
not having a butterfly effect.
But I think they realized that the timeline had already been disrupted
I
because
know.
Kirk's dad it wasn't supposed to die, I guess, and he died or
He's
whatever.
right though. It's making big problems for like, oh, I guess this is
I
just
mean,
fine.
it's a thing. It's like okay, but like we're huge Dragon Ball fans, right? Trunks does the same thing,
Oh, I
right?
know. Like I
that's just
said,
the thing
you
with time
pull that
travel,
you
like,
pull that string,
yeah.
and it's like
It's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
sometimes you
yeah,
kind of have to change the timeline, like
yeah.
100
to get
times.
the result you want, basically. You know.
Yeah, I'm just nitpicking at this point.
Yeah, but it instigates these things of like everybody's having to
Yeah.
explain away like, oh, it's fine because this, because
Right,
we're
right,
fans of the series.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all.
But that's what happens with anything big that gets that big and it goes beyond its characters.
Oh, believe me, bro. I read comic books. There's nothing
Yeah,
that's more
I
like
mean-
the continuity in comics is all over the place in terms of like history
Yeah.
and reboots.
I have
and
like a
everything
real
else.
soft spot for time travel stuff. I just
So do I.
It's such a good like.
It
I know
is
there's something
good
I'm
concept.
complaining about it. I'm really just trying to offer another opinion on. Like,
It's
the
just
fact
hard
that-
to really explain
Yeah.
and fathom the whole because nobody knows what it's how to do it. Like nobody, it's nothing that's ever been done. So even for us, we can think about it and wonder what other people's brains are thinking about it when we watch it in shows like this. But at the end of the day, we don't know what the fuck it's like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
at the end, we don't know how it's going to be. It could be really completely fucked. If there was, imagine there was another me in another time zone. Like really,
But they tell you that.
would I have a beard?
So,
In
Times-
another time zone.
Time-
Whatever in another
timeline,
timeline. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's
you
not-
caught
I got
that one
what you're
too, but-
There's another me in BC.
You want to watch a movie? If you want to watch us talk about a movie like that, go check out our episode of Coherence.
Oh, yeah,
that we did
yeah.
with Alan a little while ago. All right,
Was that a timeline? Was that a time?
That was multiple
time
timelines, that
travel.
one.
Oh, timeline. But they
Yeah.
weren't going back in time.
No,
Oh, yeah.
but there was multiple existing timelines
Yeah,
that
parallel
basically,
universe. Yeah.
that basically,
Um,
converged. Like, yeah.
Whatchamacallit? But they basically told you in the beginning of the movie that this was some time travel shit. When the guy asked the captain, the dude that robbed Iron Man, who he's like, "Yo, like, what star date is it?" Right? And he's like, "What
Right.
star date?" Like, the guy doesn't know what time what year it is.
Yeah,
it's
like
supposed to
he
be.
asked, like, where's Ambassador
Spock,
Spock or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and the guy's like,
And he
so
goes, "I don't know who
confused,
that
I'm not
is."
familiar with him, right? Like all that
Yeah.
shit, right?
Captain Pike was good too in this.
Oh, I
and
love
Captain
him.
Pike's like a big part of like.
The scene in the bar is really good.
Well, Jay, what's the history with Captain Pike? He was supposed to stay on the
Well-
show, and then they got rid of him originally,
Is
right?
he-
Wasn't
Originally, it started off in the beginning, right in the beginning.
Well, listen to what he's saying though. There's something about
But-
Captain Pike in the history of Star Trek that's interesting about that
Okay.
character, right? I think that what is it?
See,
Jay?
it's really weird because in the beginning they show him as getting killed off, basically,
Right.
because you're already on the Enterprise, and that's
Of
how
the
Kirk
show.
takes over.
He was
yeah.
the original captain on the show. Yeah,
And then
Captain
that's how
Pike.
William Shatner took
Okay.
over. That's when he took over as a Kirk, right? But
This is different, the film, because he just
Yeah.
ends up in the wheelchair there at the end, Captain
yeah, at
Pike.
the end,
Oh, I
which
see.
gives him,
Oh, I
which
see.
also allows him to be in the new TV series, bro,
Right.
as a captain.
Pike
He's
first
Pike.
appeared as the main character of the original unaired pilot episode
Yeah.
for Star Trek, the
Mhm.
original series, portrayed by Jeffrey Hunter. When the pilot was rejected, he withdrew from the series, and the character of Pike was replaced with Kirk. That's why he's a big deal, because that was
Mm.
actually supposed to be
Oh.
the original captain that they were going to use in Star
for
Trek.
Enterprise.
Yeah, but then they went with Captain Kirk. in
So
the
are they
original.
kind of just
James Tiberius.
paying homage to like
Yeah, but since
The
then
origin?
he's like a lot of people like that character.
Yeah.
That he's been like he's some people this is their favorite captain.
yeah,
Captain
okay.
Pike, which is like that's why he's like a mentor to him in this,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So that it's just interesting. I knew
His
there was
legacy,
yeah.
his legacy lives precedes him, right? Obviously.
You guys got any more scenes or quotes? Favorite scenes or
I
quotes?
was just
Julie,
Shit
yeah,
down.
come on, Julie.
I didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
like I said, I like that last sequence of them.
You know
Even
what?
though I
I,
did, my
you know what I
phone's
do
dead.
like. You know what I do like. I do like the one. I mean, like obviously the iconic lines, right? The set phasers, the stun or whatever. Like every time there's like a little line here and there. But I like you know what I really like. I like when they're like the Nero is about to get sucked into the black hole, and they're like actually offering to help him. because I feel like
but he
it
won't
kind of
take it.
it reinforces the idea that these guys are actually like peacekeepers at the end of the day. Like they always go for the peaceful resolution.
Yeah.
But then the guy was like, "No, fuck y'all."
I'd
And then
rather die.
He's like, "I'd rather die." He's like, "All right," and then they just unload all their
Yeah,
armada
that's why
on
Kirk's
him.
like, all right, I
Yeah.
tried. Yeah,
But that's what I like about it. It's just like their first sort of step is to
even Spock
it's-
was like, "Fuck this guy." in
yeah,
that moment.
yeah.
He was just like, he's like, "That's not the logical thing to do."
But then he's
here."
like, "Yo, but like, listen, if we make peace with them, then they'll chill out, maybe potentially, right?" And you know what? It's even in the like small spoiler for the sequel when they have like these bodies inside these torpedoes and these missiles. I don't know if you remember that, either of you. They had like the Khan's like Khan's like people, like they like transported them in these torpedoes, right?
Mhm.
But then they take them out like to preserve their lives, and I was just like, oh wow, like it's always about like saving lives. Like that's kind of like their first mission is to like
It
not
is.
to save as many
Hurt,
lives as they
not
can,
to do harm.
not to do
They're
harm. And so
peacekeeping, bro.
I like how that philosophy is like consistent with them. Like
Well,
that
Well,
kinda just
Khan
like-
is a big part of the older films too. Right?
yeah,
And
the
that's
Wrath of Khan.
and
I want to
that-
watch that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also that's like
Yeah.
you know how like this movie, the Romulans were like Spock's like nemesis essentially. The Khan's Kirk's essentially.
Yeah, like
right.
his
Like
arch
that's
nemesis,
So like I like that part about it too. I like
Yeah.
how like there's certain people.
He's
that,
almost like a dark James Kirk, like a dark Captain Kirk, kind of like, right? Like
yeah. Like
I got that feeling totally with Benedict Cumberbatch.
You know what it's like exactly if I had to like compare
like
it to
Spider-Man
something.
and Venom.
No,
or-
it's like James Bond, the Skyfall.
I don't know.
yeah,
where he finds out that he was an agent as well. and
Javier Bardem's
it's kind
character.
of like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like that. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's people. It's kind of like, you know how like he got screwed over by like his own like the agents
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Like,
The
it's-
agency
it, like,
M16 or whatever.
He's
yeah.
like a parallel of Kirk.
Benedict killed it.
yeah,
I know we said that earlier, but he really like shined in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, and but I just like no, I like that's how, and even the whole set phasers to stun, like they're stunning them, they're not killing them, right? Like it's like
yeah, it's always first.
it's always about like keeping the peace. So I just like that how the message is always kind of just like been there, like
But it's been there since the beginning. Yeah, since you've watched
Yeah.
any movie, any TV show, anything, and it stayed. That's the one thing that stays consistent about it.
yeah. No,
It's
I like
because
that.
that was
I like
more
how
of a
that's
Gene
ingrained in the
Roddenberry.
philosophy, you know.
But that I think was more of a Gene Roddenberry's envision too of the
Mhm.
way the future should be. Is that I think it's not a bad way of thinking.
I like
If
I
this
like
guy
this
thought about it
version
in the '60s.
of the future. You know what I mean? Like this sort of presentation of the future where like you're like banging alien chicks and it's totally cool and like you know
Bro,
what I mean?
like straight up.
Skin
Hey,
woman in your bed.
which chick would you bang? I would straight up bang that green chick.
That's not one of the categories.
No, Zoe Saldana.
I made that one up.
this movie. I made
Okay,
that
I
one.
mean, yeah, her
No,
maybe
Zoe
maybe.
Saldana is smoking
No.
hot in this
She
movie.
is.
You know what, bro? Still,
take her.
still, hey, Winona Ryder anytime, bro.
Hey,
I love
that's
me
something.
some Winona.
Anytime.
I'm saying.
Wait, what
know,
about what about
you
the
can sit on
girl
my
in
face.
sequel? Like the blonde, like the daughter.
Yeah,
The-
so
the British chick?
yeah, I know who
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah. So
But yeah, I think Zoe is the go-to.
We gotta
Okay.
check in on JT's category.
I was about to say, let's move on here.
Yeah, I don't know
Your
which one. I was trying to think about
I
that.
think I have my answer.
It's got to
I
be
think
Spock, right?
Yeah, but the Leonard Nimoy one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Leonard
yeah.
Nimoy's
Yeah,
future
I
Spock.
Yeah, I want to smoke with him.
Okay.
Spock Prime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
smoke. He's like wise and he's like nice and he's just a chill guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be Spock for me, the Zachary Quinto Spock. I think.
Yeah,
just
I don't know. I
calm-
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it would. I think there's two. I would either take. I would take Kirk and smoke a joint with him.
Oh,
Which
Kirk
just seems
is
so down there. Seems so down to earth, right?
You can't do that. You think you are Kirk.
Yo, what about John Cho, Harold?
No, he's
You're
already.
so
I already know
Harold,
what he's
bro.
like. I already know what he acts like when he's
Harold.
stoned. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Zulu.
no, I would. I
It's a
would
White
take.
Castle,
No, I'd take him or Nero.
Nero, the villain.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
All
bro.
right.
I don't know, bro. He might fucking.
Didn't see that one
He
coming.
might stab you with a pitchfork if you don't pass it to him. You know what I mean? Like,
No, man. No, I just gotta
he
bring
might
the
hit you with the
peace.
red matter.
JT's convinced he's the peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Peacekeeper.
with
I mean,
this.
yeah, exactly. You
JT
let him know,
captain
Julie.
of,
At
like,
least let him know.
If JT was a
That's why you're
captain
captain,
of a
dude.
USS Starship, he'd just be like going to other planets and like introducing like marijuana to all
That's
the
it.
like, aliens. Like,
You want some
I have
edibles?
tips for
Here
you.
you go. Why do you think she's green?
There
someone
you
needs to
go.
make that show, bro. Like
Yeah.
Star Trek needs to make that like
JT just dropping
Captain
off
JT.
intergalactic marijuana. Yeah.
Everywhere.
we have gifts from another world, right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh God.
No,
All right, guys.
I'd want to get stoned with the Kirk too, the bar Kirk when he was fighting in the bar.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
It's an even fight.
Kirk is
How
so
about-
Get
how
four-
about-
what do you say? Get 3 more guys and it'll be an even fight.
yeah, oh my god, bro.
What-
That was like
That was a
killing it.
line taken straight from your brain.
No, the best was when Zoe Saldana he's talking to her and he's like she's like, yeah, I'm fine without it. You are fine without it.
Yeah,
Yeah, straight up.
that's the
Right.
invitation, by the
He's
way,
right.
right? Like,
Yeah, she's hot in this one, but
yo, what about when he like sees them making out for the first time?
yeah,
Like he sees like what was this? Like when did
Yeah.
that happen? Like
Yeah.
I like that.
I like how she forces Spock to also let her on the ship. Remember, he puts her on some other
Yeah.
ship, and then she
Oh,
like
she was badass. Yeah, straight
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna
Actually,
be on the Enterprise.
I actually
and
wanted,
he's like beep, beep, on his like pad. He's
You
like,
are.
yeah,
You're
you're
on.
out there, yeah.
yo, I actually wanted to ask you guys, what did you guys think of the pairing of Spock and whatever Zoe Saldana's character?
Uhura?
Yeah, Uhura.
It wasn't really fleshed out that well in this.
I feel
film.
like you know what that shit reminded
It's
me
very
of. Logan?
fleeting.
Never
It's like-
even.
Okay.
You know what it reminded
think-
me of? Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
No, I think in the original one they had always some weird comments towards each other in that sense.
Like a little
'cause
flirty
they were
thing.
able, well, they were able to communicate because she knows all the dialects of. She's good when it comes to understanding things, right? So different languages and stuff like that. So I think she's able to communicate with him a lot better than the most of them. Yeah.
Star Trek was also the first television show to show an interracial
Yeah, I know
couple
that.
on television.
Yeah.
With Kirk hooking up with a black
Uhura.
woman, I think,
Uhura.
on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
At one
Yeah.
point, yeah.
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 I read something that actress wanted to leave the show after the first season or something, but then literally Martin Luther King Jr. like convinced her to stay
Said
on.
no.
No, she
That's
true.
look it up. I read it on the internet that
Huh.
he asked her to stay on the show because it was a very
It was
positive
breaking barriers.
it was a very
Yeah,
positive
yeah,
representation
yeah,
of black characters
That's-
like that
that's-
weren't
Of course.
like housemaid.
They weren't
He
in
was
TV
also
series like
smart,
that.
Like he was a
Yeah.
good character.
She's
Yeah,
like, he's like, no,
yeah,
stay on that show. Like it's a good, like you're doing like a good.
That's
job
interesting.
doing it.
I didn't know that.
No,
But
that-
you also
that's-
had Sulu
I
that
know
was.
Star Trek- That's why I know Star Trek was in the '60s because he would have had to been alive for that, right? Like so.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
she's
and-
getting sexually harassed by
But
Shatner
Did she
behind the
actually?
scenes,
Oh,
probably.
oh
there was
my
a lot
God.
of like interracial movie acting too, even with Sulu and stuff like that. I mean, even him stuff that's going on. He was ultimately we know he's yeah, so
and
we
then they
ultimately-
actually made John Cho's character later on in the series gay to be representative of
Yeah.
the fact that he is in real life.
Oh
But-
yeah, I
Spoiler
saw
alert.
that in the
Yeah,
third one. Yeah,
But-
I thought that was his brother that picks him up in the
No.
airport. And I was
So that
like,
ain't his brother.
no,
No, that's not his brother, bro.
They're just roommates.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
they're
George-
just friends, guys.
George Takei though was pretty vocal about because George Takei always he hates Shatner.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
they don't
he
get
did.
along. They had a big falling out.
He used to go on the Stern show and talk shit about him all the time.
Oh,
and how,
wow.
like his experience. And then Shatner would go on the Stern show. He'd be like, I don't even know who this guy is. Like, he would just like
They
disregard it.
cannot be diplomatic with each
No,
other.
Doesn't
no.
that feel a bit like
Total
when we found
opposite
out
of the
Monty
show.
Python hated each other?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was kind of like that. They're
Yeah.
trying
That
to,
sucks.
he was
to
trying
find
to
out.
paint he was trying to paint Shatner as a
Yeah.
monster behind the scenes, like for his
Yeah.
experiences working with him.
Damn.
But we
yeah,
don't know. We don't know. I
I'm
mean,
just saying that's his.
yeah,
this
he
is what
could be.
plans. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Who knows?
But yeah, that's what he was trying to say about him, right? But all right, score bros. Anything about the score on this one? The old Star Trek theme.
I love that. I love the theme song, and like I didn't even pay attention to it until I saw the second one and the ending, and it ends with the same.
Same at the
Yeah,
end of this
the same-
film too. Yeah.
And
I
I was
heard it
just-
in the credits.
And I heard it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is kind of cool." And then my sister, who is like around the same age as UJ, she walked in the room and she was like, "I love that shit," because she's also like
I
into
love
Star
that song
Trek.
too.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, like that's awesome!" Like, and I was like,
bro,
okay,
that
this-
theme is just it's in
I've never
everybody's
really
head.
heard it before, I guess. But then I was just like, "Oh, this kind of
what's that, Jay? What'd you say?
That theme song is just embedded. It's changed a little bit throughout the years, but it's never.
Right,
It's
little
pretty much
alteration
stayed
here and there.
consistent, right? With that same sort of, you always have some sort of it in there, even if they do a change to it. But no, I mean, this had everything good in it with the
But like
music
good little
performance.
needle drops, like the Beastie Boys song.
Scores.
But like what's it called? The song when Uhura, you see Uhura walk into the bar. I don't even know what that song is, but just like good little like pop rock or whatever the fuck they were playing, right? Like ding, 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 right? Like so yeah, it was so nice. Well, I mean, just to get away from the music for a sec. This movie is like my favorite one of J.J. Abrams, where he like I think he properly employed like all that lens flaring and shit. Like you would see him just dominate that in his movies. This is the only one where it actually kind of makes sense. Like all the like, because you see all this like all the calm stuff and all the lights in the spaceship or whatever. It just made the most sense. All the lens flaring and how if you really pay attention to the camera work, how the camera is always motivated by like movement, it's shaking and all that shit. Like it just felt like
because I don't feel like he's a very stylized director.
But that's
really.
his like trademark, right? The lens flaring. That's kind of like what he brought to the game.
I feel like
the lens flaring and the like I said, like the shaking of the camera and stuff. It's actually kind of.
But you know what's good about that? You can hide the flaws too, right? In the thing by the shaking of the camera and that.
Totally. Like I know he kind of like he kind of said like he modeled himself after Spielberg or whatever. But I feel like if you really could compare him to anybody, and this is not an insult, although some people might take it as such. I feel like he's very similar to Michael Bay, like the camera and his shit. Like if you look at it and all this sort of how he's following the movement and stuff. So yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
That's kind of just my 2 cents on that.
Anything about the score?
I didn't notice anything until the credits.
Yeah. That's the kind of the standout of this film.
Yeah, and the Beastie Boys song.
The Beastie Boys,
yeah.
Anything from? Did you do a watch party review about this? No.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Okay.
Watched it by myself.
I did watch.
Do they have any interest in watching it or not really?
Barth wanted to, but he was busy. Last night when I was like, "Fuck, I gotta watch the movie," he was out.
Okay.
So
I did watch this with Christine, but I don't think I got any feedback from her, honestly.
Okay, can I say, like, I saw this movie.
She does like these films, though. Like, I do know that. So, but
he was sad to like have missed it. He was like, "Oh, I definitely would have watched this with."
It's funny. It's like I saw this movie like by myself at first, and I liked it a lot. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch a bunch of more Star Trek.
Oh, you watched it with yeah, exactly.
I was actually gonna watch I was actually gonna go back and I kind of briefly watched like an episode of The Next Generations, I want to say, or Deep Space Nine. I just watched like a bit of it, and I was just watching like snippets of like all the shows. The Discovery one? It looks like terrible, like just the visuals of Discovery. I was like, I can't watch this. The one that came out in like the 2010s or whatever.
That wasn't well received.
I was just like, it looks garbage to look at, like the visuals. The
Jay
Discovery
probably likes it, but I don't think
Discovery.
That was very...
I just didn't like
Discoveries with the black girl, right?
Yeah. I just didn't like the visuals. The CGI looks really sloshy and ugly, but like for example, Deep Space Nine, which is from the 90s, it looks very aged, but it was more watchable, ironically, for me than the new shit. I just thought that was kind of funny. But I was liking all this, like I was watching all the Star Trek, like of this trilogy. I was watching the movies, and then I wanted to show my brother it. Like I wanted to show my brother this movie that we're talking about right now, and he was like, "Nah, man, Star Trek sucks, man." Like he was all on that shit, but he was saying the same shit about Star Wars, and I had to like beg this guy to watch Star Wars, and then he finally likes it. He's like, "No." Like, he finally got around to liking Star Wars, and then he's like, "Oh, Star Wars is way better than Star Trek. I'm not watching that shit." And then I put the movie on for him, and he loves it. Like,
great.
Now he wants to watch the other Star Trek movies too.
Good.
So it was just kind of like cool, yeah. So I was just like,
no,
the younger generation. That's what they're trying to hook, because this is where it's kind of pushing. Like it's always changed. Star Trek's always changed. I think everything with us in a sense. It's always pushed us to go forward. Like I think that's what the whole concept behind this was originally with Gene Roddenberry, and you know.
I saw I don't know if you ended up watching it, Nico, but I watched the Joe Rogan episode where Roger Avery went on recently.
I didn't watch the recent one. I watched the last one.
He went on. Roger Avery, for those who don't know, is the writing partner of Quentin Tarantino. They won an Academy Award together for writing Pulp Fiction. And so he went on Joe Rogan recently, and he was like talking about Star Trek. And actually, Tarantino was rumored at one point, right, to direct the Star Trek movie. And so he was talking about Star Trek, and I
think he created a script for it.
He wrote a full script for it, but I guess they never went with it or whatever.
No.
And he was gonna use this cast. He was gonna use this.
Really?
Pine,
Oh, I
Sci-Fi
didn't know
cast.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have loved to
He's
see
a
that.
huge.
But he would have took John Travolta and
No, you know what he
Samuel
loved?
Jackson.
The Unstoppable.
Yeah.
He
said
when
Chris Pine is his favorite actor of this
when
generation.
he went on the rewatchables. That was one of the
Yeah,
What-
straight up.
when Tarantino went on the rewatchables. He did 3 episodes of all his picks.
Yeah,
Unstoppable was
it
one of the
them.
picks.
I remember,
He
and
lo-
that
he-
episode, that's when he said it. He's like, Chris Pine is
Yeah.
easily my favorite actor
Yes.
of this generation, or whatever.
Yeah, he has a lot of like chops.
I think
he
Chris
likes-
Pine is like the best of the Chris's. Like,
Well, for
of
a
all
while,
those, who would,
for
Fucking hot take.
yeah, who
Wow.
you got, Hemsworth or Evans or Pratt? Of those 4 Chris's, I'm talking.
I like Pratt
I like
better than Pine.
Pine. I think you don't like Pratt.
No.
Pratt, like Pratt plays.
But
like,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
kinda likable
post Guardians, I agree. I don't like Pratt as much. I would probably
Guardians is excellent though. I love him in that.
I said post
Yeah.
Guardians.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah. Guardians
He's-
is his peak.
yeah.
in
his
my-
peak, yeah.
It's that and what do you call it? Parks and Rec. Like
Yeah.
he's never going to be as good as he was.
But he
on
plays he's like the same guy in all those.
Yeah,
And he
but-
should stick to it.
Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah, I hated.
Don't ruin a
Jurassic
good thing.
World, yeah, I
Yes,
hated that
exactly.
shit.
So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Pine, I don't know if he ranks higher than Evans for me. I like Evans a lot. Hemsworth,
Yeah.
I like as well, but Evans might
You
be
know what the thing with
Hemsworth I like as well. You're like everybody's really close there.
I
It's
like
hard.
that. I like them all.
I
I like them all, but with Chris Hemsworth, the thing that is like my kind of qualm about him is that I feel like I don't like his American accents. Like they like sound like
That's fair.
garbled to me or whatever.
That's
right?
fair.
Chris Evans is cool too, but I don't know. Like I just the way that this guy is so confident, like Chris Pine, in this role, I don't feel like I've seen that in any of those Chris's. Like just like how into the
No, this
was,
this was meant for him.
I feel like Chris Evans is a
I
match
agree.
for that.
I would
Yeah.
probably say he's my number one.
Yeah.
Chris
Probably.
Evans, yeah.
And then Chris
It's-
Pine.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, out of all those that we just
Yeah.
mentioned, I do like Chris Pine. A lot.
They're both great, so like it's no wrong answer. But like I think I would go with
Chris
Pine.
Evans been in some good stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Like Snowpiercer, he was really good in that.
Snowpiercer
movie.
is a great
That's
film.
what I mean. Like,
Snowpiercer is a great film.
that-
But I was just like not to get into this whole like Chris situation, but like I was talking more about Roger Avery, and he was
Yeah.
talking about how he hates this new Star Trek. Like he hates everything, like of the new series.
Yeah.
Like he was like really going in
Who?
on it. Like Roger Avery, the
Okay.
writing partner of he was like, oh, I hate Discovery. He basically said that everything post what was the one that finished in 05? Enterprise, or what was that?
No.
Star Trek
Voyager.
Voyager. He said that was like the last good one. And then when this new guy came in, Alex Kurtzman or whatever, when he
Yeah.
took over Star Trek, it kind of just went down the tube. He was also hating on Starfleet Academy, all that shit. He's like, it's all garbage.
they have fickle fans, just like
Yeah.
every other franchise.
It's just
Everyone
like
has-
yeah,
I'm just
bro.
thinking because I'm the
It's-
same way with Star
Right.
Wars. I hate all the Disney shit. Like
I hate a lot of it.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
hate all of it, but I hate a lot of it. I love me some Mandalorian though. I do.
I personally.
That's fair. That's fair. I do though. I'm serious. So,
Say that again. You love you some Mandalorian.
I love me some Mandalorian. I can't wait for Mandalorian.
Baby,
Grogu.
what's his
Nice.
name? Baby
Grogu.
Grogu. I was about to say Groot. It was like that's garbage.
Groot.
Baby Groot. Yeah,
All right. Any questions?
Grogu was at the Oscars.
yeah, he
I
was. He was.
saw that.
Do you watch the
Can't
Mandalorian?
clap.
He can't clap.
Have you seen the Mandalorian?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Questions. I have one question. Couldn't Spock's mom just move over a little bit more before that?
Yeah, she's like on the edge of the F.
How come they couldn't grab onto her, bro? She's
No,
only
no.
a falling object.
No. You couldn't grab her mid.
I know, because she was getting pulled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
couldn't
Yeah,
move
yeah.
mid-warp.
That's called transwarp. They call that transwarp technology.
Okay, thank you, Transwarp. But before that happened, couldn't you have not stood at the edge of the rock?
She's had enough.
It's like the equivalent of Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Couldn't he have just saved his father?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this again.
100%.
Oh my
There
God,
we
not
go.
this again.
We're not supposed to ask
know,
those questions.
No, but really, like,
It was before he was Superman, man.
don't show that you're Superman. All
You
right,
can't.
Oh man.
I'll die on this hill.
Oh man. And then
Literally.
I remember your letterbox review for the new one.
Oh, I
We
know.
were like, oh, at least he saves a squirrel.
yeah.
You know James Gunn did that shit just to like fucking like
Listen.
shit on Zach, bro.
Listen. I stand by my opinion about that. That will
Bro,
never
when I saw that
change.
scene, I was just like, oh my god.
That will never change.
He's
I am
changing.
sorry. And I actually don't mind
Fair
Man of
enough.
Steel.
I accept that.
After we talked about
I
it,
accept that.
that's a deal breaker for me. But when I was watching this, I'm like, where she like stood with the rest of them?
Yeah.
Like, what's she doing over there?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
That was my only question. That one. Like, come on now. Right, Jake?
Yeah, I was supposed to. That's really. I mean, for me, honestly, yeah. What else is there to explain? Like,
Well, I mean, wait.
you know,
but,
I
like,
knew exactly what
not
his
a
dad was doing in
tumbling
his fly into
thing.
a
Maybe he
ship.
just wanted to get away as far from the tumbling shit, right? Like,
You know what was happening? Winona Ryder was like, he ain't cut that check for me to be in the next film.
Yeah.
I'm out of this.
Yeah,
he went
yeah.
straight
I'm
from the
gone.
movie
See ya.
more than, like 20 minutes, right? She
Yeah.
had to die. Like, there's like the thing where like characters just have to
You need
die
a
just,
yeah,
to like advance the development of it.
Yes.
It was so funny. And this is I guess Julie, you're not gonna bother with like any of those Star Trek movies, right?
I might watch this trilogy, but I won't.
Can I give a
remember.
small spoiler for the next
Go.
one? Yeah. So Into Darkness, Captain Pike dies, right? Like he gets
That's
shot.
his last film, right?
Yeah, the second one, the
yeah.
guy that recruited
Yeah.
Kirk, he gets killed, right? But right, I'm watching it with my brother, the second one, right? And there's like this scene when Pike is like giving because like I guess they were gonna fire Kirk or whatever, and then like he gives the speech where he's like I believe everyone should get a second chance, even you, Kirk. And then you can see like Kirk is about to cry or whatever. And then my brother's watching this and he's just like, okay, I just know they're about to kill this character off. Like, just because like he's like, it was all good until he said that shit. Like he just sealed his fate. It's just like characters. It's just like he had to die just to like advance.
It's like
the
those
character,
it's like
you
those
know?
movies where the cop's like, I retire in 2 days. You know?
100%.
He's like, ah.
Shot, yeah. 1000% like that.
I was so close.
It's the unreliable narrator thing.
Yeah, so close.
Oh my God.
All right, movie double feature. Come on, Jay, you gotta have one for this.
Oh,
Is this
like a
the
double
Republic
feature.
pairing?
I'd still keep with another
Yeah,
Star Trek.
Okay.
I changed the name.
Okay.
Double feature. Yeah.
I would still go and kind of go like Max did and kind of just finish the trilogy on this one. Right?
Yeah, that's really the go-to.
You know what I mean?
And
If you're
maybe
gonna
we'll
do
go
it,
back and, yeah, like the whole Star Trek.
My
shit.
only answer was that, and as well as let's get the other J.J. Abrams Star Wars film in here, the first film, because like then you kind of get the best of both worlds in the sense that you could see him do the films rebooting these like or continuing it when it comes to the Star Wars. I guess that was like a
Yes.
soft reboot of sorts, let's say. But that's Star Wars: The Force Awakens that J.J. Abrams also did. I know there's a lot of hate for that film. I do prefer the Star Trek stuff to the Star Wars, as we
Me
were
too,
talking about
me too.
earlier. But I do think it was a solid movie still. I don't think there's anything
it
wrong
could
with
also
it.
be that like if your introduction to this to Star Trek is this movie, you're gonna be less critical of it because you don't have all the other stuff like the hardcore stuff that you're
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's a good double feature because,
Yeah.
like, again, it's a good fresh start for anybody that wants to sample these franchises. And J.J. Abrams basically did both of those films.
Oh, he was
So-
shitting on J.J. Abrams too, Roger Avery. Like,
Yeah,
he was,
that's
like,
fair.
Talking on
I'm not
him
a big
too.
J.J. Abrams.
No,
fan.
I just
Yeah.
brought that up just to say like
Yeah.
he was going in on him too. Like,
Oh, sure.
basically calling him like ChatGPT, like writer, like for real. Like,
Well, for a while, I was very critical of him because you would see his name attached to something and he would have zero involvement in it. Produced by J.J.
that's
Abrams.
like Spielberg, like totally, you know.
Yeah, because J.J. Abrams was involved in a lot of TV stuff too.
Yeah.
No, but Spielberg
Were you
back in
guys
the
Lost
day.
fans and all that?
I never watched
no,
it.
No.
I know he was that. I know he was Alias or whatever.
Alias
Yeah,
and
like
some-
yeah,
a
I know
bunch of other
he
shit,
did a
yeah.
bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
right? So, do you have any pairings? Do you think I should change it back to movie pairings? Do you like that in the name of the category?
No, I
more?
was just making
Oh,
sure
okay.
I was
Yeah.
understood. Hold on. I gotta pull up my notes here.
you can even watch a Butterfly Effect. You can watch anything. You can watch a
Oh,
bunch of
Ashton
different
Kutcher, I
things.
like that movie.
It's because it all sort of fucking plays into each other, right?
You know,
And
you
these-
know which one I would say, and this is like it's kind of like an out there pick, or you know me, I like my out there picks. I would say Batman Begins, just because I feel like
That's
that
funny.
I feel like that was the OG like let's reboot shit movie. You know what I mean? Like, and then like let's reboot shit with like serious tones, like
with a good director.
with a good director, and like
Yeah.
fast forward through a character's history kind of thing, like how they do the flashbacks and
Yeah.
shit. Like because then you just saw it with everything after that. You saw it with Planet of the Apes and
Yep.
Godzilla and Star Trek and
That did
Man of Steel as
yeah,
well. Like you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so.
yeah.
What's crazy about that is I wrote down Batman Begins,
Oh,
but I didn't have the words to say
Yeah.
why it felt
There you
right.
go.
Yeah,
There you
totally.
go.
But you,
I
yeah,
agree
you
with
get what I'm
that.
saying, right? Yeah.
I agree with that, but I literally was just like, it feels like Batman Begins is a good pairing.
Totally.
I had no
Totally.
discernible reason.
Guardians of the Galaxy too, for sure.
I wrote that down.
And I would say Avatar too because of the
I
Zoe
wrote that down
Saldana.
too.
Zoe Saldana.
Wow, look
yeah.
at you two.
Yeah,
And also, by the way, this and the first Avatar movie both came out in 2009.
I wrote down that. I wrote down Guardians of the Galaxy, Avatar, Batman Begins, Atlantis, the Disney movie,
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Treasure Planet, the Disney movie. I wrote down X-Men also. Same
Nice.
thing
Yeah,
with
That's
Batman.
a good pick
Yeah.
too.
That I was like,
Like a team movie.
Mhm.
yeah, I guess that's it.
Like the
Kind of
whole
just the start of a bunch of franchises.
Yeah.
Kinda
Kirk
vibe,
and
yeah.
Spock totally have like a Wolverine and Cyclops
I also wrote
kind
down
of thing, you know.
Interstellar, but
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
Okay.
like
Totally.
very
Space
different
movies,
vibe.
you know.
But
Yeah.
Just
You
like
know,
space
the whole
movie.
Interstellar is a little bit more philosophical than this. film,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the whole like Star Trek like model for their franchise, totally like how they had like shows and then they had movies with the same like actors playing from the shows. It just kind of reminded me so much of like anime, like how anime will have series, but then they'll just have movies like that are like related or not related to the continuity or whatever, like Dragon Ball or whatever, One Piece, shit like that. Like,
Yep.
I feel like it's like maybe they even took that from Star Trek. I don't know, the whole philosophy of like how they structure their
it
stuff.
was early in like
Something
a
that
TV
combined
show
movies
that
and
did films.
shows,
Because
you
for
know?
a while there, no one would do films of TV shows because it was deemed not successful.
Yeah.
And then everybody would look at them for a while there and be like, "Oh, this is just an extended episode
you
of
know-
the show."
Right.
essentially.
You know what's funny is like I heard
like
that
the Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
That was nothing special.
heard
you know what I
that,
mean?
like,
yeah.
the original like Star Trek really picked up when they started doing the movies. Like that's when they started getting like this wider audience or whatever.
Yep.
But their movies, interestingly enough, didn't come until after Star Wars.
Yep.
So it was like, but the Star Trek show comes before Star. It's just like
The
this
show
interesting-
was deemed not successful when it came out
Yeah.
originally, and then it found an audience years
Yeah.
later, right? And
Yeah.
Desi Liu is the one that produced it, which was Lucy. Like I Love Lucy, like
Mm,
her
yeah.
and her husband. What's his name? Bambaleo. There, fucking Ricky.
Ricky.
They owned like the Ricky Liu, Desi Liu Productions or whatever the
okay.
hell it was called. She owned Star Trek, like
Oh.
the production rights
I didn't know
of
that.
Star Trek.
Wow.
Lucy, yeah. She that's a true story. That actually like
Ooh.
that was who brought produced the show
Yeah.
essentially.
What do you
the
think?
production
What do you think?
house.
Oh wait, what do you guys think is the cooler? Like this is like super nerd question. What do you guys think is the super cooler ship? The USS Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon?
Oh, the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, I think the Enterprise is cooler, man. The
Yeah,
shit,
man.
like
I
the
don't
wings at
fucking
the
know.
end,
Millennium
like-
Falcon, bro. It's
Yeah.
the Falcon.
Bro, I gotta go with the Enterprise, bro. And I'm like,
Is that
Take a look at how many ships are out there.
That's
Han
Han
Solo's-
Solo's ship. What do you mean?
I have no fucking idea.
Bro, I take the
Before, Julie.
hey,
Come
I
on.
take the bird of prey.
Star Wars
No,
movie.
no, Wouldn't that be
I'm not
funny?
watching
if
it
it was,
unless it's for homework.
wouldn't that be funny if it was? Though?
I
don't
take
know if
well, I
you-
take the Enterprise, but
I love the
I-
original. Me too, and I'm like coming from like this as a Star Wars fan, not having watched much Star Trek.
what
at
about
all.
the Klingon, the bird of prey? That one, man.
All right.
The one that looks like it's got wings. It
I-
looks like it's the Star Wars one.
But in the into darkness, you know the spaceship that the admiral of the like that turns out to be a
I'm
bad
about
guy
to leave this show. I'm so upset by
with
this.
the black ship. It's
Where
like,
that's where they
they're
dock.
like in warp speed, and he catches up to him in warp speed. Like it's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up. Show me. Show me the.
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
ship.
Show her an image
Okay,
of both.
all
And
right, there we
ask
go.
Julie which one is cooler.
All right. Well, I'm going to look for this. Go ahead, Jay, with the
All right.
legacy of this film.
The legacy of this film is this franchise and everything that this franchise has. I mean,
What about beyond this?
Gene
franchise?
Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future and vision of the way that that it should be at a time when, you know, when the place was when the world at that point was in a weird place too as well. That his vision has never changed, and they've kept that, like you said, that legacy, in a sense, through the whole timeline of every Star
Yeah,
Trek,
which is the
every
cooler
sort of
ship, Julie.
thing. You know what I mean?
This is the cockpit.
Okay.
Okay. I agree, Jay. I think that is the legacy of this film.
Yeah.
Honestly. Hold on, I'm trying to get rid of this picture here. There you go. That's the Falcon, and then the SS Enterprise or whatever, USS Enterprise, right?
You can do them all. You can show. It shows you.
Oh
all
no,
the
I'm only doing
ships.
this. This is the one we're doing.
No,
Look at
no,
it. This
that's-
boat. No. Okay,
No,
that's
it's the first one.
No,
That's
show
the
the
first one.
2009 version, bro. Come on, don't do
Yeah,
that.
I know. That's the
Don't do
original.
that. Nico. Don't do that. Come on, Julie. Which one is sicker? It's got like the wings and the engines in the back.
Listen,
Come
they're
on.
the same.
No.
It's just
How dare you?
backwards.
How dare you?
all right. Now you have to leave the show.
Straight up.
Enterprise looks way.
How can you compare those two ships?
They're
The Star Wars and that one.
shaped.
And not to mention the Enterprise. If you're like the boss of the Enterprise, you got that nice chair like in the center. And you telling
That's like the chair I have.
That's it. Like this, bro.
telling people what to do
the
and
cockpit
shit. Like, yo,
of the
dude.
fucking Falcon is the sickest like seat in the galaxy.
Nah, it isn't.
What do you mean
bro.
you
Maybe I
got
got
shoot-
it
you got
caught.
Bro, you know which one is the best? Spaceballs.
You got Chewie
I
on
like
your
the guns on the Falcon. Like when
Yo,
they're in the
straight up
turrets,
Chewie
like,
over Spock. Get out of here, right?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
What?
Maybe I don't have the right context. Haven't seen
I
it
don't
in
know.
action.
Spock is
Who
kind of
knows?
sick. I don't know.
Spock is sick, but
Spock is
Chewie
kinda
is
sick.
way better.
At least you can have like a conversation with Spock. Oh, are you hearing that fucking bear go like?
Yeah, right. You're gonna have a you're gonna have the
Yeah, I
most,
know, eh?
you're gonna have the most condescending conversation you've ever had in any
Oh my
galaxy.
god.
Yeah.
What if it's a Leonard Nimoy Spock?
He's still gonna condescend you. You clearly,
No, Leonard Nimoy
You-
was a sweetie.
you
man.
clearly
He
have
was
not
cool.
seen him on the old Star Trek.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they're both cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think.
Well, you know what? The legacy of this episode is the fact that Jay picked this. Finally, something I know he loves, and for once, he proves that he is a huge geek. And we were able to geek
Nerd.
out
This is the
over it.
geeky
Yeah.
shit. You know, I think the only thing that surpasses the geekiness of Star Trek is Dungeons and Dragons, bro. And I have not like partaked in that at all, but like,
Chris Pine was in
Yeah,
the movie.
right.
yeah, he was
Yeah, there you go.
preparing, yo.
I watched it because of Chris Pine. I was like,
No,
I,
but I don't even mean the movie. I just mean
I know
like,
what you mean.
like
I know what
Dungeons
you
and
mean.
Dragons, the concept of
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
nerds in the basement
Sitting around
going
in the
like,
basement.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Nico used to play that. Don't talk like that, okay?
I never played Dungeons.
Oh, no.
don't you have a Dungeons and Dragons dice?
No,
You
I've
don't?
never. Oh, I might have a die.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Well, that's because I used to play Magic, which is
Yeah,
also
yeah, magic. I knew there was one that was. Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
There was one. I just couldn't remember it.
Magic.
But the reason I only-
Magic is super nerdy.
MTG?
The only reason
Yeah.
I bring that up is because Jay was always such an elitist of y'all are nerds and I was out getting pussy and y'all are fucking nerds. And then this guy's into fucking Star Trek, like,
Yeah, he's a
which is
Trekkie.
like the nerdiest shit someone could get into. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
Bro, hey, there's things I like and there's things
I
I
didn't,
don't like.
play video games. Like, fuck that nerdy shit. And I'm just like,
I didn't even know. Yeah.
I know. So there you go. JT got to let his nerd flag fly here
Oh,
today. There you go.
Finally,
oh my god, Jay, you okay, Jay?
we've
Hey,
outed.
go fly your flag, all right?
But I would say like the legacy is like J.J. Abrams' direction. I feel like this is the movie that made people really pay attention to his like lens flaring, because I feel like he did it the most in this movie,
Yeah.
like the lens flaring.
I don't really have much to add to that. Like you said, J.J. Abrams, Gene Roddenberry, their legacy is alive and well, at least in the TV shows. I don't know if there's any talk about them doing any films. Do you know anything about that, Jay, or no?
They've been
Not
like,
yet, no. There's always loosely talking about something or the other, but they have never solidified any sort of movie that's coming out. So I don't
Hit
know.
us with your next pick.
Okay.
You're next on the show for your pick.
Okay, so I'm next. My favorite time of the year when I go on, like, when it's my pick. It's the
And then we
most
won't see him for
wonderful-
6 months.
Yeah, that's usually what he does. Once he does run rotation and then takes 2 off.
Hey man, just be
Bye.
lucky. Be happy with the ones you get. Okay. Like,
He might even cancel on his phone pick. Who knows?
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't cancel me, bro.
can't
I'm like
you can't
Kanye.
expect him to show up to this unwatchable show.
Yeah, like we're not the rewatchables, we're the unwatchables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry, James. Okay, so I'm gonna pick like Blade Runner, which was one of my favorite movies. I'm gonna pick another one of my favorite movies. Like I would say, this is like, this is from the top shelf. I'll only give you guys the top shelf stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
the-
wow.
the fresh out, like, you know what I mean, the Michelin star shit. You know what I mean, like
Jesus
the
Christ.
Michelin star chef stuff. And it's one of my favorite movies, but from a very controversial director, and maybe we'll get into it, I guess, or not. Whatever, we can.
It's my favorite.
It's my
People say
favorite.
it's very controversial.
Yeah.
It's Apocalypto, directed by Mel Gibson.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, give me some.
Fucking-
Let's go.
I love that movie.
I love that, and it's celebrating its 20th anniversary this year because
Is that post him eating off the
They had
floor
it
or
on
drunk
TV.
or?
yes,
And I just sat there and watched it.
yes,
Never watched it.
nice.
What?
Yeah.
You're guys.
Me neither.
Have you seen it? Jay?
No.
Okay, you guys
No.
are in for a treat. I thought none of you.
I
had
guess.
seen it,
I
but
guess. I guess.
I own it.
Yeah,
I've heard
Nice.
about it. I kind of know what it's about. I've wanted to watch it for a
Okay.
long time. So good pick.
Jay, Nico, you are in for a treat. Let me just say that, okay? And
Well, we'll see.
Does he get religious or what?
To go at the park.
For real, for the first time.
No, I've seen it.
Oh.
I've owned it for years.
Oh, nice.
I've seen it
nice.
many, many times, but
What-
I just watched it 2 months ago at the bar.
At
What-
the bar.
What
It
bar?
was playing in a bar in Florida when I was there.
Oh,
and I just watched
sweet.
it on the
with the
fucking
sound
TV.
on or the sound off?
Sound off.
Oh, wow.
I know the movie.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Right,
okay.
there you
It
go.
was so strange that it was playing, but I was like, damn, I haven't watched this movie in a while.
Episode 80 of Late Night at the Movies with Max's next pick will be Apocalypto. You heard
Controversial.
it here first.
Controversial.
Right?
Nah,
Nice.
it's all
Right?
right. I mean, who
We can get
cares?
into it. We don't have to get into it. It's, you know what I mean? It's up to, I'll let you guys.
Oh, I'm gonna take a watch. Now that I know who's directing it. Now that I know who's directing it.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's what I mean. I'm gonna know, and I'm gonna take a watch because I want to see how controversial it can get.
He's
Not the
Yeah.
movie itself is not. Well, I mean, we could get into it when we get into it.
Wait, the director too, or what?
The director, right? That's like people.
like
it.
people when people
He's a
bring
good
up Mel
director.
Gibson,
He's got the he's got the passion, bro.
when people bring up Mel Gibson, they bring up other shit, right?
Sure.
So
The
that's
movie's problematic though.
there's a. I don't think so either, but there is like chatter about it, and maybe if
Okay,
you do your
alright.
own reading about it, you might come across because I know
Alright,
you like to
fair
go on like Reddit boards or whatever. They talk about.
Okay.
All
some
right,
shit
I'm
like
looking
that.
forward to this. Should be a
Yeah.
good conversation. So stay tuned, everybody.
I'm not aware of any controversy.
We
with it,
will be checking out Apocalypto as our
It's
next
like
pick.
it's like fickle, like the controversial about it. But anyways,
live long and prosper.
dude,
Can
you're
you do
supposed
it?
to do the
Can you
whole.
do
This
it?
space is the
I
final.
can't do it. Hold on. All
Why is this like awkward? It's like sticking the fuck out. Like
right, live long and prosper, you guys.
It's hard to do with the other hand. It's hard to do with the other hand.
Is-
Welcome to the show, everybody.